Start
It's easy, just do it on difficulty
before
10.
you leave. Oh, I also have to leave you a gift. No, it's even better.
69 solo KOs.
Is it though, Bob? Is it?
Considering all the Susan Stormart, yes.
Yeah, Cad's going after Mary.
To be the Ultimate Universe.
I mean, to be fair, plenty of the timelines where she's miserable with her marriage, so. It's a reoccurring theme that Mr. Fantastic is a fucking awful husband.
He's just engrossed in his work. But yes, he is a
Not an
terrible
awful
person.
husband. There's also the timeline where this invisible woman cheated on him with Namor.
We
Fish.
don't talk about that one.
How many timelines where she just doesn't get married to him?
Very few.
All right, have a
Better
good
way.
one.
For a woman who's supposed to be pretty smart, she
He
walking
likes
into the
big,
same trap.
sexy nerd brains.
Yeah.
I can't. It's something. I can't. I didn't read that comic. I just know about that one instance. Basically, if she's not with Mr. Fantastic, she's generally with Mr. Doom. Or Dr. Doom. Sometimes.
So still with Reed Richards.
So, yeah, it's either Richards or Doom. I have not seen one which is.
Isn't he both?
Also remember
Say the
streamers live to other people, so
There's also like that one scene where Hank Pym, the Ant-Man at the time, just straight up smacks his wife for no reason. Because he's like going off, he's like, oh, I need to go do this. And she's like, no, please, don't do it. And he just randomly smacks her and says, no, I have to do this. It's just like a scene of him smacking her, and you're just like, what the heck? That was at 11. 70s. It was definitely a different time. Obviously, that didn't happen in any recent timeline, though. There is some. I think like this is a DC one. My favorite one is like there's a PTSD one where Kid Flash kills like all these heroes. He just has severe PTSD, and everyone's like, "No, you're fine. You're a superhero," you know. And then like he just goes insane and kills like all these heroes, and they don't know what to do. Don't know how to actually like handle people's emotions from all the crap they went under. So, oh, he did. He killed like he so he went kind of like crazy. Where yes, he like went back in time. So the whole thing is like trying to find out who killed these people. And he's also investigating while dealing with his psychological issues. And then it turns out the twist at the end of the comic is he went back in time using the Speed Force and killed all these people. So he was the one, like he was investigating himself basically. It's just like this weird thing. And it was like, I guess it was trying to show like the PTSD of the events and like how it messes people up. But yeah, there's been some weird runs too. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, what these like, especially the children, you know, because superheroes love having child soldiers work for them. Stuff these children go through. All the Robins. It's just messed up.
No better way to raise an orphan than to traumatize them.
Except Damien. Every bad thing that happened to Damien, he deserved. Damien is a terrible.
That's Red Hood?
No.
No.
Damien is Bruce's biological son with Talia. He's just, no one likes Damien. Everyone thought they hated Jason, and then Damien came along. Yeah, Jason's Red Hood. I mean, these are the recent one. The Wally one was just a few years ago. And Damien's a recent addition. So, just comics aren't mainstream anymore. So, they don't make the monies like they used to, so they don't get as much, oh, good or not, it's tough. It's just a ecosystem I don't think can recover with that. I think some people like moving over to digital comics is probably the thing to do, but I just don't see hand-drawn comics lasting much. I don't know how Marvel Comics as a whole are doing. Like, I know DC is doing way better than Marvel in the comics and animated. I don't know. Like, the only Marvel comics I ever read is Spider-Man and X-Men. But Spider-Man is always the same thing. Peter Parker must suffer. But yeah, I don't know how they've been doing. It's been a lot of like independent ones and novellas and stuff. That's where like the Invincible and Walking Dead and all those other comics really started up because people got burnt out on the superhero stuff. So, speaking of Invincible, when does that start? Is that next month or season 3? Yeah, it's February 6th. Nice. So I was actually going through. Oh yeah, go ahead. There.
Okay, hello everybody. I just got the tweet live. Do me the favor, go give it some love. I believe I do need to reboot my bot though, so let me deal with that. I'm running a little bit behind. We had a rivals match go a little overtime. And so I didn't get to like go to the bathroom and everything, get my drink filled up and everything pre-stream. So I had to do that right there. But it's okay, there's actually not too much to do today. I do have other videos I'd like to record, but I don't really wish to record them since, at least like not tonight, right? Because we have the NA live stream and we have other stuff basically tomorrow. So I'm kind of thinking like I'll let the other stuff take priority for right now for at least like the rest of this week, and then we'll see. Okay, I believe that's coming up. Watching the live stream be nothing but a waste of time. I mean, if it is, it is, right? Like, I've already told you guys, if it's just them talking a crap ton, I actually won't bother watching it. I'll just keep it on the side. Like, I'll keep my eye on it for you guys, but I'm not going to waste all of chat's time. Also, I would like to remind my mod that this is an English-only chat and to please use the primary language or he will be banned. Thank you. Thank you for the 47 months, Ash. Inez, maybe we get Cuckoo a week early. We're getting Tez, but Cuckoo, no, not yet. Okay, is the bot open? No? Good lord. I really gotta figure out a way to get this bot to re-pick up the new YouTube stream, because that's why I have to reboot it every time, is it's the only way to get it to recognize the new stream. I don't know why. It's just like an issue that this bot has, and it is the bot that I use for like basically keeping an eye on chat all the time, so it's kind of a problem that it doesn't do that, and I really don't know why it's the case. Okay, it is up and raring to go. We should be good here. Hello, everybody. Oh, I did not get you guys the sauce while I was waiting. Let me grab that. Here is today's sauce. Questionable activity for 47 years. Hey, you never know, Ash. At some point, you might actually be at that point. But again, I hope everybody had a good Tuesday. My day was fine, and then it got like super stressful here. I had like a terrible commute, and I was playing some games in Rivals where like there seemed to be decently high latency. Like none of my attacks or heals were landing, at least not the way that they should. So it just caused me like a lot of stress that I just did not need to have. And I was like, man, this is wild, especially that my commute, like literally the week before I'm going into extended hours, my commute just suddenly got like way worse. And I can only attribute it to like, maybe it's like the people going back to school and stuff like that, but it was just awful. And my drivers crashed 2 times today, and then a Windows update snuck in. Yuck. I'm not gonna lie, you had me going in the first half where I thought like you were some sort of like head of a trucking company, and you were saying like, oh, I had 2 of my drivers crash, and I was like, damn, that's whack. Like, yeah, traffic be really bad. But then I realized what you were saying, and I was like, oh, okay. We won more than we lost, at least. Yeah, it didn't feel like that, right? What? Why is... Hello, capture card. Thank you. Oh, I guess it needed a relog is what happened. Okay, so JP's pretty easy right now, especially since storm pods do be a thing. Hold on real quick, chat. Glancing in here. Oh, this is the remembrance stuff. Okay. I was like sitting there, I was like, what? Like, why do I have a 1 here? And then it like I thought it was like an undone free quest, which I think I still do have a couple over there, so that may be something that I can do on JP. But I was just sitting there, I was like, that's just really weird. And then I realized what it is. The campaign I keep ignoring. Yeah, we literally get a new event on JP tomorrow and 7.2 on NA tomorrow, so it's definitely going to be interesting. It probably also means that both servers will be down for maintenance. So again, just some of y'all might have to live a couple hours without FGO. I'm just warning you of that in advance. You might want to find something else to do in the wee hours of the morning. Like, I don't know, sleep, or read a book, or play another gacha game, or, I don't know, maybe go outside, touch grass. I need double drop rate for blueprints and GFL2, so expensive leveling weapons past 40. Yeah, I've gotten to like 40, and after 40, everything has just like slowed way down. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, like the sheer amount of stuff I have to do in a day, like in FGO, if I literally want to do my dailies, it is any 3 runs, and all I have to do is spend down my AP. There is not like all this extra tchotchke stuff. In Girls Frontline 2, let me see. I usually have to so right now there is a currently active event. I need to go check that to see what I need to run every single day. This usually results in 5 different runs needing to be done. Then from there is the guild stuff. So this includes like going in and grabbing my like free guild handout every single day, as well as doing 1 hard run. These cannot be autoed. Like it can be autoed in the actual mission, but you cannot like do it on its own. Then from there, I end up having to do cleanup of basically my actual like dailies. And then from there, it's Battle Pass. And in the process, like some of this includes like PvP, of which again is not autoable. And then from there, let's see, the battle pass is normally pretty normal. From there, I then have to go check like the dorm, and redo like my whatchamacallits, my like excursions. And then like if I've leveled up, I need to go into like the refitting room. So I'm gonna say like from there it's like optional stuff, and this is just all everything you have to do every day, right? Like all of this, like yeah, there may be optional stuff like leveling up your units, leveling up your guns, potentially like maxing out people's bond in the dorm, re-optimizing stuff in the excursions, doing any rolls, like all of that falls under the optional stuff. And then on a weekly basis, there are also several more things that have to be done. So not even on daily. This is all just daily shit. I'm not gonna lie, chat. This is why I quit other gacha games. I don't know how some of y'all do it, especially in multiple of them, because this is the way like all modern gacha games are now, and it fucking sucks. Like I can do all of this, but it just eats time that I frankly like don't care to do. And so it's like people just hop from game to game to game doing this stuff, whereas like I have to like again, like I have to like find the time on like my lunch break to do all of this crap, or like find the time like before work to do all of this, or find the time after work to do all of this. Like at some point in the day, I have to basically find a good 30 minutes to an hour to be able to like get all of this stuff done. It's a chore instead of being fun. Yeah. Like I don't think like some of the optional stuff like leveling up your characters and stuff, that's not a chore. That's the fun, right? But like I don't really like how these live service games have done a bunch of that. And I'm gonna like basically say, compared to something like, say, Rivals, okay? Rivals is another live service game. Rivals has an event currently ongoing in it. I gotta admit, I'm not a huge fan of the way the event is structured, but that's all it is. So it has an event, and you have to go do like some stuff for it. Meanwhile, there's nothing like extra really you have to do. There are like daily missions, I guess, but most of the time they're straightforward. It's just like play a match, win a match, heal X amount, or deal damage X amount. Like, you usually don't have to do too much in order to actually accomplish the dailies. So it is what it is. Like, and that's why it's really odd to me that like you can get a live service game that doesn't actually make you do a whole bunch because, and hear me out on this, chat, because the gameplay loop is just play the game, we've made a fun game, have fun with our game. And they trust that that is going to like keep people playing. That is smart and intelligent design. I hate to say it, the problem with a lot of gacha games is that they actually do attempt to chain you to them. And I don't like that. I don't think that they should do that. I feel like the emphasis should be more on like, yeah, playing the actual game. Because I'm going to be honest, I actually now, and I've realized this, like it's been almost eye-opening, because like if we take FGO, I have zero problem playing the game. But if we take Girls Front Line, there are two ways that you can go about this. One is auto. The other is auto in node, which some do force you to do. So it's like, hey, you can't just purely auto it where it'll just calc and you never have to load in. And then there is you can't auto. So in other words, you have to actually play. Chat, I actually get somewhat peeved by this now. I actually get pissed off when I have to play the game. And I shouldn't, right? Like, I have no issue with it over here with FGO, so why do I have an issue with it over here? I'm going to tell you why right now. I would have no issue with it here either if these didn't exist. The second the other two exist, this becomes a problem. This is a first world problem? It absolutely is. But like, I can't explain it. It's like reverse psychology. It's like, because they've conditioned you not to play the game, the second you have to actually like stop autoing and just actually play, you're like, fucking AI, man, why can't it handle it? Why do I gotta do this shit? Like, that's literally how you end up thinking. And it's stupid. I don't think it's a good way of structuring your game. Gotcha games like FGO2. Hey, yeah, if we ever get FGO2, right? But yeah, no, like I can't explain it to you guys better than that. It's FGO makes you play every second, but FGO also just like respects your time way more. I can't explain it to you other than that. That is the simple and pure truth of the matter. People can argue with me about lottos and stuff. Those are the exception, not the rule. The vast majority of the time, FGO does respect your time. And so it's like, it's super wild to me that like all these other gacha games don't. And like, for instance, I did not mention like story in any of that, like any of that comparison to Girls Front Line. Because the story took me quite a bit to get through. It was actually pretty long-winded, because I did try to read most of it. And like, the story was okay. Like, it's not like the best thing I've ever read. It wasn't like gutter trash. It was just okay. And like, I'm gonna be real with y'all for a second. The thing that worries me by far the most about an FGO2 is that I'm super worried that if they came out with a second version, it would not be designed at all with the same mentality. Because and we know the reason that FGO is this way is because the developers have said so, that their entire design philosophy is hinging on this idea, this concept of play as you can, play when you need to, right? Like not play like every hour of every day. The developers have gone out and said this in interviews. So it's not surprising to me, but I do wonder if they ever did come out with a second game, would it be developed in that same mentality, or would, again, the Aniplexes and Sonys of the world instead be like, no, you got to like shackle them to it. You have to put in all these extra tchotchke things that they have to do. Because like, I'm gonna be real with y'all, like I low-key kind of like hate some of the extra stuff in Girls Frontline too. And actually, just real quick here. We'll very quickly go back to FGO. I just want to show chat exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? Because there is something extremely egregious in here. I haven't even told you guys the most egregious thing, because there is a weekly requirement in theory, and I really freaking hate it. Hello, cousin. So, if I come up here to campaign, right? And I go up to these combat simulations. Neural surveys, these are normal farm nodes. Boss fights, these have to be done on a weekly basis. They started doing the bullshit of like Abyss with these, where you have to have 2 teams. I really fucking hate that. I understand why it is, but like early on in any of these games, it's super annoying. So like, for instance, you can see with me, like I've gotten to tier 6 out of 8, but in order to do the second tier, I have to have a fully like secondary team up and online. And I'm gonna be real with y'all, like my secondary team is not capable of it, even though I've tried to. Like my secondary team could get some points on the boss, but they would fail, because what this is a boss challenge, and your goal is to try to get the maximum amount of points. Again, you can see like if you get outstanding, you get a shit ton. So I have managed to do all that, but instead I've completed the 6 out of 8 tier. So I just literally go and just go like bloop, and I just auto it, because I don't want to deal with it just yet, not until my account gets better. So that is one of the weekly things that you have to do. I'm very happy that this auto button exists, so I don't have to fight it every week, because I think I would tear my eyes out. Then there's the Crossroad Challenge. I haven't gotten up to the higher level to be able to do this yet. There's combat exercises. This is PvP. And so quite literally the way PvP in this game works, you literally, like, a lot of people actually put out like a fully stacked deck with like, you know, 20,000 plus combat effectiveness. But people have realized the meta thing to do is to just put up a singular unit at like level 1, and then everybody can complete this easy as dicks, because nobody wants to actually do the PvP. So it's really funny. So this is what like a bunch of people are doing, and everyone basically appreciates it, and it's really funny. But there are people that, like, I don't know, I guess they have like super big inflated egos or something, and they're like, no one's ever gonna beat my team, and it's like, oh, okay, well, whatever. That's why people do it. Yeah, that's exactly why people do it. And then there's this actual gutter trash piece of crap. Okay, so you can see I've only completed the first one. Every week I get those first I get the rewards for the first one that I've completed for free, but I cannot tell you just how long this actually takes to complete. This is insane and dumb. And there are 7 waves of this crap, of which you have to defeat an entire horde of enemies over and over and over again. I hate this. This is terrible. This should be deleted from the fucking game. It is purely there to waste your time. And the rewards from it are not good. Like, again, you can see it's periodic rewards, so you just get them. I think that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to say like, oh, well, if you've completed it once, you'll get all the rewards. I'm like, Yeah, but no one wants to have to slog through that. Expansion drills. I don't even remember what this is. Oh yeah, these. Same deal. You need 2 teams for these. It's stupid. I again don't like this. Like, these are all just weekly shit. And I would like to point out, chat, I still have not unlocked whatever the hell that last thing is. Like, I'm not high enough level. And this is all like stuff that needs to be done on a weekly basis. It's stupid. The last one is competitive PvP. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's just actually dumb. And like I said, none of that is like the platoon, which is basically your guild. Like, your guild has tasks that you have to complete, like daily patrols and then potentially Gunsmoke frontline for the status of your guild. But like, no, I think it's stupid. Like, don't get me wrong, right? Like, I think there's a lot of good stuff in Girls Frontline too, but I hate how like people design stuff that way. I think it's just actually like, oh, we're super afraid that if you ever have any free time, you might go and look at another gacha game. It's like those super obsessive girlfriends that like they cling on you every 2 seconds because they're like somehow afraid that if they don't, that you might like develop eyes for another woman. And then the reality is it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because they get so clingy and so needy that you basically like you do in order to get away from them. You start thinking like, oh, my life would be better with a different girlfriend. So it's wild, but it's the case. Unless you care about EPing, it's easy as fuck to get the worthwhile rewards. Enter battle, quit, profit. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I just, like I said, I don't like the sheer amount of stuff that has to be done on a weekly basis in that game. It's not like just spend down your AP. I wish it were. If it were just spend down your AP, that would be easy. You have time this weekend? Let's fill it up with activities. Yeah. And I'm like, I hate to say it, but like these games need to stop like thinking that they are MMOs. Because like that is how so many of these live service games think. They try to act like they're an MMO and they try to fill up all of your time. And I'm like, that's cool. I would also like to occasionally be able to do something else. I'd like to be able to play other games. I'd like to be able to go like spend time with friends or family. Heck, you know, I don't know, maybe like go on a vacation or something. No, you can't do that. You have tasks you need to do. And we have FOMO, so if you miss them, you're fucked. Like, I really dislike that. I'm okay. I'll say this. I think I'm more okay with like monthly requirements than I am with weekly requirements. Weekly gets rough because weekly starts going like, yeah, well, if you don't, we're going to punish you. Only a couple more hours left on this. I think it's 3 more hours. We'll go ahead and farm some more embers. Actually, let's switch to caster. Still moon cancer in here? Yes, it is. He's probably out cheating, yeah. Login bonuses are that too, just not as bad. Yeah. That's on you to tell them to respect your space. Listen, there's only one way to tell them, okay? And I'm gonna be real with y'all because this is largely the same degree for why I quit like the MiHoYo games, okay? I can tell them. Hey, I don't like this. I can fill out a survey. I can absolutely stop spending money on the game. I can absolutely stop playing the game. It won't matter. Me speaking to all of you about this as an issue actually would potentially have more possibility to have an impact than anything I could ever do as an individual, if that makes any sense. Like, if you are just a drop in the bucket to them, they do not care. It literally takes entire communities finally like getting upset with any of these gacha games before they will ever make any sort of changes in that regard. These games turn into an actual job, except you don't get paid and you pay to work. Yeah, I'll say this too. I do hate that like live service became such a like common trope for video games, because it didn't used to be that way. But it does feel like now every single developer, every single like major publisher has to have, you know, multiple live service games, not even just one. The greed is unreal, where it's like, oh, we need to be making insane amounts of money. And every live service game thinks that it's owed like an insane amount of money. It thinks that it like it's gonna pop off, and when it fails, it's like, oh well, you know, it wasn't our fault. It was like the players. The players were the problem somehow. And it's like, listen, man, like players only have so much time. Players only have so much money. Like at the end of the day, if you're not one of the like top 10 live service games, don't expect to pop off. Don't expect to get a crap ton of money, because there are only going to be so many people out there, and they can only divide their interests so many ways. Especially when all of the games are trying to shackle you to them. So it's like, oh, you want to go play a different live service game? Pfft, no. Do our dailies. Complete our battle pass. Purchase our subscription. Consume. Fully saving up for Merlin and Ace this year, and I'm excited, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a full 1K for each. Well, I hope it's not. I hope you get it easier than that. Month-long events, you can take your time. Yeah, I mean, like, and this is an interesting subject matter, because, you know, like, people have complained about FGO having like 3-week long events, right? So like that's a thing, obviously, but I don't really think it's that bad on the surface. Like FGO having 3-week long events is an okay concept, okay? And here's why I'll explain this to you. What the developers have said is their reasoning is basically that in giving you a 3-week long event, they're giving you more time. Also, the idea I think a lot of people understood was that from them doing 3-week long events, they would have more time developmentally. I'm going to say this is more time player. And so it's like, oh, well, you have more time to develop stuff, and therefore this leads to like more quality content. So this is an ideal. Like you start thinking like, oh, okay, well this can lead to like more time for the player to do stuff, more time for them to develop stuff, and more quality because they had more time to develop stuff. And this is absolutely not the case. Not at all. This is their stated reasoning for all of this. None of it's true. Because allow me to explain. What 3-week long events did was they now take 3 weeks to complete. You don't have extra time, which is the exact opposite of what they were claiming. This, I will say, this did give them more time to develop. However, It did not result in any extra quality content. And the reason because is, again, they basically used this extra time to help the issues they were already having. The reason they switched to 3-week events was not for the player. They would have you believe that. They would have you believe it was also that they could develop more content for the player and to give the player more time to complete the event because, good guy developer. That was their stated reason. That reason was a lie. The only truth to that statement was this. They actually did need more time to develop because they were having a hard time actually hitting their deadlines. They were having major bottleneck issues behind the scenes. So 3-week events in premise, if they actually did what they said, are not a bad thing. The problem is they didn't do what they said. They didn't really use this as a means to actually foster more content into the game. In fact, if anything, we have gotten less content since they have switched to 3-week events. So I can't and I'm not even judging is event A better than event B or anything like that. I'm looking at this from purely a macro scale. They have basically used it as a means to do less. And then I think the developers have begun to realize that, and they've tried to catch up in certain ways. So for instance, this is why all of a sudden you've gotten massive influxes of rare resources, again the gold foes, the faux paw prints getting divvied out in droves, and the crystallized lores getting given out, as well as grails even. The reason for that is because they realized that they were actually having less events overall, and therefore there weren't these things. To give you guys an actual completely true anecdote here, quite literally, I sat there and 2 years ago on my JP, I was close to completing all foes. What does that mean? That means I was almost done with all of my units. Almost all of them done to 1k 1k. 2 years later, I finally finished. Now, why did that take me 2 years to finish? The amount of new units coming into the game stayed the same. The amount of sources of foes dropped. And that's why. The units were outpacing the amount of foes that were being given out. And this happens because there's less events and less campaigns that actually were rewarding them for a little while. So it is what it is. But like I said, it's my personal anecdote, but I know that had to be an issue. And so that's why the devs saw this and said shit, we need to give out a bunch of foes. And when they finally did, I finished. Literally. They gave out a crap ton of them there at the end of the year, and I finished all of my foes. But it literally took them giving it out. Otherwise, I would have had to have rolled out all my FP. So it's it is what it is. But yeah, they've actually been kind of doing less as a result. I'm not saying FGO is bad. I'm not saying I hate the devs or anything like that. But this is an issue, and it is something that I think they have got to behind the scenes correct their workflows and get rid of whatever bottlenecks they have. Again, if it's just a simple manpower issue and they don't have enough people to actually put the butts in the seats and do the work, that needs to be corrected. For a game of FGO's caliber that still makes as much money as it does, there's really no excuse for that sort of thing. The developers should be able to pump out the content regardless of when, where, why, and how. And the reason I say this is because they have proven that they can do it in the past. They definitely were pumping out content in some of the prior years. So to watch as they had especially I want to say year 9 was pretty okay. Event wise, we were still a little bit on the lesser side, but overall content wise, year 9 was okay. But chat, year 7, year 8, we are entering year 8 on NA. Oh man. No. No. This was a really bad year content wise. I said this once before, I'll say it again. But privately amongst some of the content creators that I talked to and some of my friends, there was this consensus that FGO could not have another year 8. If it did, it would have killed the game. And I think that is reflected by the community, and the general interest that there was in FGO dipped hella hard in year 8. Hella hard. So if it had had another year like that, if it had not tried to return back to form, at least to where it was in like year 7, FGO was in major trouble. And so like the fact that they did that in year 9, so it's like if this is year 8 chat and this is year 7 and this is year 9, like the graph of them kind of went like this. Okay? Now here's the thing, like year 6 is up here. So like they came down. If they had another year, if they even did this, okay? I'm not even talking about rebounding. If they got as bad as they were in year 8, it would have killed the game. So the fact that they did manage to pull this out is really good. I'm super excited for that. I hope that that means year 10 is just going to be like freaking amazing. Okay? So like for anyone that starts calling me a doomer or anything like that, I want to say I'm optimistic about the game now. Like quite literally, I am hopeful. There are signs that the developers are turning things around. So it's a good thing because again, like dear Lord, the pace they were going at and the like sheer amount of content and how they were kind of dropping the ball in multiple areas, it was bad. It was really, really bad. What about Audio Call 3 and Summer 9? 3-month stall fest that was bad, right? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna re-echo the original sentiment that I said years ago for that. Summer 9 was not bad. Like, it was not a bad idea. I'm okay with them trying something new. And I do think the story and the characters that came out of Summer 9 were good. I think logistically, the execution, the scheduling, that's what's bad. It was stall. We all know it was stall. It was transparent that it was. And so I think that is the reason to like say, hey, look, you tried. That was an interesting idea. Never do it again. Ever. Right? Like, I'm okay with the fact that they tried to do something different. There is nothing wrong with that. I think developers should be taking risks and chances, and sometimes that's going to work, sometimes that's not going to work. This time, I don't really think it worked, but they should still keep doing it, right? That's the thing. So it's like, I'm okay with them trying to take those risks. And I'm going to give you guys another example of this. And I'm sorry to anyone in advance if this is your favorite game. I'm not trying to like shit on it or anything like that. But this is an easy one for me to talk about from my own personal experience. I just heard about a month ago that apparently Final Fantasy XIV for the first time in a long time is sub 1 million subs. Like they're under 1 million subs now. This hurts them pretty bad, okay? And the reason for this, people can come up with all sorts of reasons. I've talked to many people about this. I'm going to give you guys my take on it. The reason why, no matter what else you want to say, whatever reason you think is the case, this is the truth. The truth, this expansion was more of the same. That's it. It did not do anything different or new. The developer took no real risks. It just literally is the same thing they've been doing. Now, people can complain about the story. People can complain about the setting. People can complain about the characters. People can complain about the raid content and its current status. None of that matters so much that the macro status of the game is that the developer is not actually taking risks anymore. I realized that like 5 years ago with FGO, or sorry, not FGO, with Final Fantasy XIV, and that is why I stopped playing it. Because I realized that the developer was never really going to innovate. This is just how they were going to be. And they have been that way for 5 years. And it's finally catching up to them. They actually got a big swell, a big surge of people coming in and playing because it got popular again, almost due to the fact that a bunch of VTubers started playing it and WoW was committing Sudoku at that time. And so those two things kind of converged and it made Final Fantasy XIV pop off again. But what you're seeing now is the people that started to play back then are now realizing that this is just more of the same, that the developers are just like going through the paces. And that's what's happening. So it's like, it's over time, it's just slowly dwindling down. And that's why. Like, again, it's not due to any particular one aspect of the content. People will keep making excuses for the game. That's fine. Like I said, I'm not trying to shit on the game. Final Fantasy XIV is a great MMO. The issue with it is the longer you play it, the more you realize the developer's not like the developer is extremely formulaic, extremely. And that's where you start to go like, oh, okay, well then what's the next patch going to be? And the second you can think and you can actually name what the next patch is, that's when you know it is a formula. It is always the same. Always. They are never doing anything different. Seppuku, not Sudoku? What do you mean? Of course it's Sudoku. Chat, do I have to commit you to Sudoku? Don't make me play it again. Or rather, they took no risks. Yeah. Like I said, it's nothing like... Looking at it from a pure macro scale, that is why. Because the developer refuses to try new things, to do things differently, to try to inject more life into the game is stagnating, and the game is slowly just going downhill. Like there is nothing that can be done about it. It is dying because they're literally not doing anything new. And that is a problem. I think, like, as much as I could say, like, as a content creator, that is also a problem. Like, you don't want to stagnate as a content creator. And I say this as somebody that is stagnating. So it is what it is. Like, I am absolutely self-aware in that regard. But it is a problem, right? And so it's like, there's a point where you just have to take risks. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Time to do a Sudoku speedrun, yeah. Speaking of VTubers, VTuber model retired or just not feeling using it these days? Not really feeling like using it right now. We'll see. Like, I'm still kind of thinking about long term in that regard. People keep asking me about it. I don't know. I'm just vibing at this point. Like I don't. Part of the reason, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. Part of the reason, and there were many reasons. Okay, but part of the reason that I went VTuber originally was I'm not going to say feeling insecure so much as realizing that I am getting older and that there is a younger generation of like weeb out there that doesn't necessarily vibe with the old guy. So it is what it is. And at least with having a digital avatar in that regard, you have some sort of alternate representation of yourself that's like not going to age, not going to get like older, less cool in like people's eyes, that sort of stuff. So like that was part of me like thinking like, hey, I may as well get like ahead of the game. But the other part was also I have definitely realized that like for networking purposes and branding purposes, having a like VTuber avatar is actually a really good thing. And so it's like there were many aspects and many considerations that went into it. I'm not like giving up on it by any means. But I'm also like, I think I've come to this like weird like inner peace where I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. I'm just going to keep doing what I do. And like, if I feel like using it, I'll use it. If I don't feel like using it, I won't use it. That sort of thing. So it's like, I'll probably just be streaky with it. There'll be times where you guys will see me use the VTuber avatar for a bunch as well. I just don't know. It just is the way it is. Old Man United, yeah. Okay. Off to NA. I wear this mask because people don't like knowing it's an old guy behind the thing they like. Yeah, and it's really stupid. Like, I'm gonna say this right now. The most fucked thing of like Gen Z and some of the like younger people is there is no respect for elderly people anymore. And I'm gonna say this too. My generation is guilty of that. The millennials are really fucking bad about it. People need to learn to respect their elders a lot more. It's like, and I'm not saying like, oh, well, if the elder's done something really fucking stupid or like rude, that you need to respect them. Sure, if people don't respect you, that's a different story. But in general, the concept of respect your elders is such a good concept, and it's going to hurt society as a whole if people don't start doing it. I don't know why people don't get that. As an older person, yeah, no, like, and I say this as somebody that's like, I was always taught to have respect for my elders, and I see like the disrespect that some people have, where it's like, oh, this idea came from an older person, therefore it's like bad or it's worse or it's invalid. Like, oh man, people best be waking up. They're gonna end up in like some rude wake up calls in life if they don't listen to the more experienced people in that regard. So it just is what it is. Old people as a collective need to get their shit together and be worthy of respect. Nah, see, that's such a fucked mentality. Like, I'm sorry, but I have to call that out. Like, if you assume that the person on the other end is not worthy of respect, you're the problem. You have an attitude problem at that point. Like, and I can't say it any more bluntly than that. It's just the truth of the matter. Chat, you should always respect everybody else until they give you a reason not to. I know people say like, oh, well, respect is earned. Nah. That's just you being a rude, self-important asshole. Like that's all that is at that point. If people don't want to give respect, they can expect none in turn, right? So it's like, again, it's like if you just basically are going to assume that the other person's not worthy of respect, you're not going to treat them respectfully. And then if you don't treat them respectfully, guess what? They're not going to treat you respectfully. Like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yes, exactly. It's like, give the respect like that you want to receive. Do you want respect, chat? Give it. If you give it, you'll get it. If you don't give it, you won't get it. I'm very neutral towards everyone. I think that's fine, right? Like, I think there's a difference between like being rude and like again, like, oh yeah, like worshiping the ground that someone walks on. I'm not telling you guys to like, oh, just believe everything that everyone says and yada 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 yada. Okay, like, I know there are exceptions to this. I know. But in general, it's a good idea to have respect towards the older generation. I think one of the greatest lies that people have told at this point is that, like, oh, the older generation's a bunch of stupid, like, self-important assholes that don't care about anyone. And it's like, okay, what do you think you're turning into? It is what it is, chat. Treat me kindly, I'll return it. Yep. I feel like I should give respect to people I don't really care for. Define don't really care for, because I can take that statement numerous ways. I could just say that just sounds blatantly rude on your end. Or I could say that, like, what you're trying to say is, like, people that you don't like, right? And I'm like, okay, well, if you have a reason not to like them, there's maybe a different story there. We need to properly define respect. Do you need to define respect? Like, do we need an actual definition of what respect is? Because I feel like, chat, respect is a very simple concept. It's like literally just treat people kindly and like don't degrade them or don't think ill of them. Like, engage them to the degree that you would want to be engaged. Like, are you going to like somebody else coming up to you and immediately like denigrating you or like giving you a nasty look or like giving you attitude or some shit like that? You wouldn't like that. So it's like, why would you treat other people that way? People trying to rules lawyer basic ass respect. Yeah, I don't know. Like, respect is a simple concept to me. It's one of the most simple concepts. It's like, I do think that there are ways that you can define it like differently, but I think ultimately at the end of the day, there's going to be some basic core things for that. And at the end of the day, it's very easy to see when someone's being disrespectful versus someone who's not. No, see, I think you're reading that wrong, Lucky. You're saying when people say respect their elders, they don't mean respect them as people. Yes, that is exactly what they mean. Because what I see is instead dehumanization. I see people saying like, oh, you know, because, again, chat, that's what OK Boomer is. I'm sorry, it's the truth. OK Boomer is a derogatory term. In the same way as, like, if I start calling you, like, I don't know, oh, you filthy fucking millennial, you filthy fucking Gen Zer. Like, it's the same thing. You know what you're doing when you call someone that. You're labeling them, and that's exactly why you're doing it. No. It's the same as Karen? Yeah, 100%. People just forget to be kind too many times, right? Like, and that's really all it is. No, it's that simple, chat. Respect them as people, okay? Like, if you can't respect each other as people, I don't know. This is the entire problem with the world in a nutshell. Like, people just cannot actually respect each other anymore. And like, oh, you disagree with me? You're the fucking enemy. That's all it is. Like, people are way too quick to take up arms and assume that, like, somebody that is not immediately lockstep with their same mentality must therefore be a problem. Just say, okay, Hoyo first. Right? But, like, it'd be the same thing. And it's like, to give you guys an example, right? Like, you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of MiHoYo games, but I'll still talk with you guys about them. And I at least will still, like, give them credit where I think they did a good job. That's the truth of the matter. Now, there are things that I think they did a good job that you know, probably people will agree with, and things that I don't think they did a good job that people will disagree with. So it is what it is. There's always going to be opinions, and they're like butts, and everyone has them, and they stink. That old people deserve authority because of their age? Let me ask you this. Do you think that a lack of experience somehow makes you more qualified to talk on a subject? I'm not going to say like every old person deserves that authority, but I am going to say that, like, if you assume none of them have it, that's the problem. And that is what I see. I see that the pendulum has completely swung the other way. It is now completely on this side where everyone assumes that old people have nothing to contribute to society and are like stupid idiots that are like just selfish and don't care about you. And God, I hate that people think this way. And I don't use the word hate there lightly. I absolutely hate that people think this way. Your AP is capped? Thank you. It is. The way society changed so much in the last 10 to 20 years. I'm gonna be real with you. I actually don't think society has changed that much. I think that society as a whole has some like base things, and there's just trends. That's all it is. And I think these trends go like up and down in terms of prominence. That's really all it is. Time is a circular loop. So it's like we're just in this like really like avant-garde phase where we think like the elderly just don't have any like actual good ideas or anything like that. And it's used as a means to like attack them. A line being taken up meant a phone line wasn't available. Yeah. I think defaulting to respecting people is a non-brainer. Yeah, I like that's kind of my point on this. I see what like Peanut's saying. Peanut's saying that he just views that as like being a normal, decent human being. That's true. That is also essentially respect. Okay. I know what you're thinking of, and unfortunately, I hate to say this, but what a lot of people think is respect to me comes across instead as actual like admiration. It's not necessarily like, oh man, I respect this person. It's like you actually admire them, you actually like hold them up high in terms of like again, it's like your ideals and your idolism at that point. So it's like it is what it is. But I don't think that's necessarily the same thing as respect. Like respect is to me like a decorum. It's like literally it's how you treat people. If that makes any sense. And it's like I don't know why we're having to really define this, but I guess it is necessary if people really have like the different positions on that. With too many people of all ages. Yeah, I agree. And like I said, I know this is a contentious topic, but no, it's like it just is the way it is. And again, I'm gonna say, chat, you proved my point. You absolutely proved my point for exactly one of the reasons why I made a VTuber model. You proved it. You proved it with all the arguing. I can't say it any other way. That absolutely did prove one of my bigger fears, that as I get older, I will be viewed less respectfully. It is the way it is. It's like, I don't want that to be the case. I just know it will be. It's like, again, I always try to treat each one of you guys as just, you are just, again, part of a collective in that regard. Not in the sense of like, oh, you don't matter, but in the sense that like, I just try to treat everybody well, especially you guys like that actually do come to my streams. Like, you guys are taking the time out of your day for whatever the reason to again, like, come watch me. Maybe you're bored. Maybe you want info on FGO, or maybe you're just looking for something to chill and like hang out with, be part of a community, that sort of stuff. I can't know your reasons without you telling me, but I always, regardless, try to treat you guys the same way. Like, with the same respect that I would hope that you treat me. And we argue, okay? We definitely debate topics. We definitely have interesting discussions on this stream. But I never, like, look down on any of you guys for it. I just, again, like, if I feel strongly in a subject, I will try to debate you guys on it. But I also, as long as like we can remain respectful and not like call each other names, I don't care. That's the truth of the matter. Because I can debate an entire point based off its merits until the cows come home. But as long as it doesn't turn personal, we're fine. The second it starts to turn personal, or at least that I feel like it's turning personal towards me, that's where I start to be like, okay. And I think that's just the truth of the matter for a lot of people. I'm also going to say I don't think most people are that level-headed as me in that regard. But it is the way it is, and I've just learned this over years of debating people on things. Reduce has gotten so bad or changed based off generation you're talking to or what background. They consider the word and sentences they use to try to explain to the point to be wildly different in meaning as to what someone reads or hears. I think there is something like that to a degree, but I also think, and I'm just going to be honest here, I don't think that's the issue. I think like the bigger issue for like, again, like why do we need to define respect is purely due to the internet. Because the internet allows these sorts of like nuances and like again these like different viewpoints to clash, whereas like in general you had this like homogenized idea back in the day for what some of this stuff meant, right? So it's like I think only as we have started to get to like the internet and social media where people are talking a whole lot more that you start to get these like like I'm not going to say like my sense is right or anyone else's sense is wrong in that regard, but like these warped senses of like what certain things are. And so it's like that often causes like really weird disconnects and again like people just, you know, oh, we're arguing over what amounts to semantics. Man, we're all sounding old here. To a degree, I think my channel at least has a on average older audience, but it doesn't necessarily mean like everyone here is like ancient and fossil level. It's because the blender has more people in it than the internet and IRL. Yeah, I mean, and this is an interesting thing because a while back, and I know like everyone's gonna get upset over me mentioning this, and I don't want to get into politics, but like Florida passed a law that prevented essentially like underage people from actually like being on like social media and stuff. And God, I think that's such a good change. Like, because I do think that sort of thing happens. Like, you'll end up having like a 60-year-old and a 30-year-old and a 40-year-old talking, and then enters the 17-year-old, enters the 13-year-old or something like that. And you can see like there are wildly different takes on these things. And usually like down here, this is where there's like no actual respect for anybody because it's just kids in their rebellious stage. And so like they just want to say avant-garde shit and they just like they don't care about anything. And this is just the way kids are. And I think like to a degree, adults are, you know, other than their kids, they're relatively isolated from that normally. Whereas like now it's all in there. It's all mixed together. And so this causes like a lot of these like really weird topics and issues to foment. That's when you get the Modern Warfare 2 lobbies and stuff. Yeah, but I mean, like, even back then, I'd say, like, the vast majority of people in, like, the Modern Warfare 2 lobbies were, like, oh, they were of an age group, right? There's basically, like, 35 and younger on average. Like, if anything, gamers are actually getting older now because the eldest generation is already, like, 60-plus years old. And you're looking at, like, now the, like, major generations of gamers are now getting into their 30s and 40s. So it is a thing. But it is what it is. Like, and it doesn't mean that there aren't like, you know, newer generations after them. It just means that like we're now actually like getting to a point where like gaming is an old enough hobby now that it's actually going to have run the entire gambit. I found out a lot later in life that my parents are actually really smart. Yeah, like there have been certain things, and I guess like maybe I was a little bit more lucky, but I realized like really early on that my parents were actually like really smart about how they did things. And that like while there are things that I would not like agree with necessarily or do the same way as them, man, there are certain things where I'm like, oh, they absolutely like saved me in that regard. So it's like, yeah, I do have the utmost respect and appreciation for them. I do, again, admire them and everything that they have managed to accomplish. And I think this is also partially where some of this stuff comes from, is a lot of people maybe don't respect their parents. They don't value their parents as much. And I'm going to say, yeah, like part of that's on the parents. Part of that is just, again, like maybe how they're getting treated. So it's like that lack of respect usually comes from, again, people saying like, hey, you know, like maybe I had a terrible parent. Like maybe they ended up like beating my mother or something like that, or like screaming all the time at me or something like that. Like that's the sort of thing where I think, like, you know, not everybody has the same upbringing, not everybody has the same experiences as they go through life, and it does result in different viewpoints. People are largely a product of their experiences, no matter what they'll say. You know, people will say like, oh, you know, it's not who I am. And it's like, well, if you've experienced traumatic events, it's going to change your viewpoint on those events, and vice versa, right? So it's like, if you've never experienced that, you might have some really avant-garde stupid position that would seemingly be like unreal to somebody that has. Will the new FGO stream have spoilers? Probably. you want my like honest to god like interpretation of that? Yeah, probably. Okay, let's run the rats here. Yeah, I do think that's also the other source of it. So like, besides parents, I think a lot of the upsettedness at the older generation actually comes from the workplace. I think there's a lot of stuff where like people disagree with their bosses and everything. And I'm gonna say, I hate to say this, but people need to understand this is not an age gap issue. It's not what people think it is. It's mostly like a class issue, and people don't really get that. They try to blame it on age, but it's not really an age thing. It's like it's the boss versus the workers. It's the haves versus the have-nots and stuff. And that's where people actually get upset. And the reality is, it is not an age argument to me, even though people want to make it into one. It's more like people are looking for a reason for why they can blame this on them, when the reality is it's just the problem with the individual. Young people are having a really hard time making a decent living nowadays. I mean, listen, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Everyone is. And I want to be honest, like right now, like, if it's been really interesting, because I've seen like a lot of Gen Z is now beginning to enter the workforce, and they're getting deeply upset because they're like, well, this is what you left us. This is the problem. Like, this is why you guys are such ass. And it's like, oh man, do I have to break it to you? No, this has always been the problem. This is not some new development. Like, there are certain things that are worse, don't get me wrong. But like, for instance, chat, quite literally, there was a gap year in my career. I graduated college, and what did I do? Nothing. I literally did nothing for an entire year. Why? Because we were going through a recession. There were no fucking jobs when I graduated college. I could not get a job if I wanted to. And finally, basically, my father, thankfully enough, was like, hey, look, you're not, finding anything. Have you thought about coming to work for me instead? And I said, you know what? Sure. Let me do that. And it's like, that's accounting at the time was not what I had my degree in. And so it's just one of those deals where I basically said, you know what? A job is a job is a job is a job. And so I went to work for my father, and I ended up going back to school for accounting and getting my degree in it and passing the CPA exam. So it's like, it is a thing, but I want people to understand it's like, this is nothing new in that regard. Like having a hard time finding work, finding gainful employment, it's always been an issue. It always will be an issue. It's just one of the factors that we kind of face as we grow up and move into the workforce. And there are times where it's better, and there are times when it's really awful. And it's kind of been awful, and it does kind of go in cycles. I'm an IT guy and my master's is in management. Yeah. Gotta love that business management degree. Super useful, right? I mean, like, it actually does have some, like, general purpose, like, business usefulness, but not in the sense of, like, it's not going to land you a job. No one's going to be like, oh, yeah, you have a management degree? Here you go. The heck is that 4-star saber? Which 4-star saber? Roland? You've never seen Roland before? Naked Man? Hey, he's bonding in my backline. Started in finance and credit, quit my work, and went for an IT degree. Oh yeah, like, and there are plenty of like doctors and lawyers as well that like wash out and stuff. But it's like, I really have to say that like that's the only thing. I'm not gonna say that like, you know, the situation's not bad right now. It is like since like COVID, it's just kind of been bad. But it's also like, yes, it has been bad. Like it has been bad before, and I myself have ended up being somebody that kind of suffered from it. In fact. And this is really interesting because I'm sure some people like look at me and they'd be like, oh, well, like his father hired him and stuff like that. So it's like, yo, he's the beneficiary of like nepotism or something. And it's like, oh no, chat, trust me, it is anything but. My father hiring me bailed me out from quite literally some of the shit things that I was going through. So it is the way it is. I can say that that's nepotism, but that was only after I had tried my hand at like so many other things. So it's like, to me, it was still something that like I had to go do and I had to earn it. Like, it's not like, oh, my father just handed me this like cushy position where I don't have to do anything. So it's like, it just is what it is. My father was at least nice enough to give me a job, but that is quite literally all that he did. And from there, it was like on me to work my way up. How long do you think it would have taken to get a job if your father didn't offer you anything? I don't know, because I ran into, I think, the problem that a lot of unemployed people run into, which is that, like, you get to a point where motivation becomes a serious problem, where, like, you're not finding anything, you're not getting anything, and therefore your desire to keep like going and keep applying and keep trying starts to degrade. So it's like, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you how long it would have actually been. I can tell you though that there would have been a point, because when my father did call me and asked me to work for him at that point, I literally just said yes, right? Like I didn't care anymore. I didn't want to work the job with my father, and I said yes anyways. So I think there is a point where I just would have started applying for like lesser and lesser jobs that weren't in my field, to the point where, and I've given this advice to many of you, well, sorry, not many of you, but like, actually, no, I think I have given it to many of you before on stream, but like, I've said this before because I've said it to at least some of my friends as well that have been unemployed. Chat, don't look down on a job. And I really do mean that. There are so many people out there that I feel like they're like, oh, I don't want to work at Walmart. I don't want to work at the gas station. I don't want to work at McDonald's. Like, these jobs, they're beneath me. Like, I only want like the job that's for my degree and stuff. Go get a fucking job. Trust me. Go get one. I don't care what the job is. Go get one. Because there's a point where you're just doing nothing for long periods of time. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I was already at that tipping point where, like, yeah, I would have gone and just gotten a like job at like Whataburger or some crap. I would not have cared, just to actually be like, okay, well, at least I'm gainfully employed. I'm making some money on the side, and I have something to put on my resume, so it doesn't look like I'm just sitting there doing nothing. Because I do think that's an issue as well. It's like, as you go to actually interview with people, some jobs, they'll be like, what were you doing for those 3 years that you didn't have a job? Because, like, they're going to want to know, and then they're going to be like, yeah, doing nothing, huh? Like, you might sit there and you might be like, oh, well, I had, like, this issue come up, and I was doing this, and, like, you know, like, then I was still, like, trying to apply, but I didn't get any of the jobs, and so it's like, yeah, like you're going to come up with all these excuses. The employer's going to sit there and think, Okay, lazy, didn't do anything. Like, it's not going to matter. So it's like at that point, quite literally, getting any job looks better than doing nothing, because at least an employer will go like, oh, they weren't employed in the field that I'm interviewing them for, but at least they were employed. Like oh shit, they went and worked at McDonald's, but like crap, that must have sucked, but at least they worked at McDonald's. Right? Like, if anything, it proves that the person's like, they're a go-getter. They actually will, one way or the other, try to seek gainful employment. So, like, it's weird, right? But really, I do mean it. Don't look down on any job. It's one of those deals. Somebody's got to do the job, and the person working the job is not less of a human. I do think some jobs are better than others. Like when we start talking about a McDonald's or a Walmart, yeah, I'm sorry, they don't really care about you. That's why there's so much turnover in the jobs. Part of it is like the people working those jobs do have a like higher propensity to just be like more of a deadbeat and not be like punctual or actually like care about the job. But the other part of it is it's not like the job pays well, and it's not like they actually care about you. So there is like two sides to that coin. So it is what it is. But again, I'm just gonna say it's like go out there, get the job, and get something. That way you're not just unemployed the entire time. And worst case scenario, chat, the job really freaking sucks and you go get another one. Just go get another one. Literally, if that job is that bad, if it's like full of people that you can't stand, go find another job that actually will respect you. Had one of your gap, but also got a decent remote job. Main difficulty in life now is saving for a house. Oh, don't get me started on that. Yeah, getting a house is really difficult. I think that's actually like one of the biggest generational issues that's been kind of talked about, and there's numerous reasons for that. People will sit there and they will blame it on multiple factors, and I do think there are at least a couple factors that are at play, but a lot of them are just like human greed is one of the bigger issues. I don't think there's like anything wrong with a homeowner being like, hey, I paid like $200,000 for this house. I want to at least like try to recoup that. I think that's like perfectly fine, right? I think there's a problem when you start getting like speculators in the market and people like gobbling up properties for like, oh, well, I'm going to like lease them out as Airbnbs and that sort of crap. It's like, no, they need to get those people out of the market. I'm sorry. Like, it's just actually hurting homeowners. So it's at the point where it needs to be like something needs to be done to actually like incentivize proper home ownership over like businesses and banks owning the homes. I think that's a major issue that like at least in the US here is a problem. I can't speak for like Europe or something like that, but I know like in Europe there's a lot more emphasis in general on like living in like apartments and condos and stuff like that. FHA loans is a start, but still hard to work with. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say this. In a weird way, there is like people complain about this, but like bank loans, people will say like, "Oh, well, bank loans are really hard to get." I'm like, okay, there's two sides to that coin too. Yes, I do agree. Bank loans are a lot of red tape, and it really freaking sucks. However, there are some motherfuckers out there that they are like, yeah, I'm making how much money? Oh, minimum wage. And what level of house are you trying to purchase? I like a $700,000 house. Can I get a loan for that? No, you can't get a loan for that. Jesus, I don't know why banks were giving out loans like that. That's the issue. Like, the banks are kind of the problem because it's like they're either extremely stingy and refuse to give it to you, or they're giving you a loan that like nobody should have ever given. Like, no, like, yeah, you want a loan? Here's like a $100,000-$200,000 loan. A $700,000 loan? No, of course you can't pay that off. You can't even afford the interest on it. Like, holy crap. I don't know why you think that you can get and afford a house like that. So, like, part of this is like people just shooting their shot and like trying to live beyond their means, and the banks being stupid idiots and giving it to them. But the other part of it is just like, yeah, it's just unnecessarily difficult to actually get some of this stuff done. California, we're giving put loans based off the fact that your house is going to appreciate 10 to 15% a year. Yeah, okay. even in California, no, I don't know about that. Like, we did have a major spike. Like, again, my house is actually like doubled in price due to quite literally like the economy and everything that happened. But oh my god, that is not a regular occurrence. That's not something that just happens overnight all the time. So like that was a like rare, like weird scenario. You do know what happened, right? In California's case? Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like I imagine most of them defaulted. Like, it's just stupid. And so like, and I'm gonna say this right now, and you know, maybe I don't know enough about this, but at least from like what I've heard, I do believe that banks should not be able to sell mortgages. What do I mean by that? Well, chat, if you're not familiar, banks will like allow you to sign a mortgage. They will like, again, like handle some of the financing for it, or they'll make you go through a third party. That's fine. What banks should not be able to do is they should not be able to bundle up a bunch of mortgages like that and sell them to a third party. I fucking hate that. I hate that so much. I think that is what gets us in trouble. And that's exactly how the housing bubble burst a couple years back, is because they were doing that with a bunch of bad mortgages that they should have never given out. And they're still doing it. So it's like, no, I don't think you should be able to like transfer the debt like that. It's just wild, especially when it's like people's houses, because it just results in all sorts of like scummy and backhanded crap. And I think it's just really, really bad. That's how we had in 2008, yeah. But how else can debt collectors make money, Monka asks. Oh no, won't someone please think of the debt collectors? Oh god, heaven forbid should they have to get a real fucking job. I'm sorry, yeah, that's one group that I don't have a lot of love for. It's just like, no, I don't care. We really can sell anyone anything, man. Yeah, it's wild. The risks average out, but a single black swan unlikely event becomes more and more likely to wipe out everything. Yeah, I don't like it. I think that type of crap should not be a thing. Think about our stockholders, Bob. Exactly. But yeah, no, it's a problem. There's too many like weird things that they basically can get away with at this point, and I think that's one of the major problems. We're like wasps in human clothing, pretty much. And I'm sorry if anyone in chat actually is a debt collector. I want you to know that I hate your job. I don't hate you. 700,000 loan while working minimum wage is whack. You think I'm joking, and that's the worst part. I'm not. Like, that was actually a very real statement, unfortunately. I have no debts. Oh, nice. We're a very dumb species. We're so smart, but yeah, I don't know that we can be trusted with ourselves, right? Black Clover music? I don't know that I've ever heard this. Oh, unless it was something else that someone recommended. All right, on to the Enkidu strengthening. See, again, like, my NA actually doesn't have that many strengthenings that it has to do. Kind of funny. All right, fine. You're going to put a rider in there. I guess that means I need to use an assassin, right? I'm going to use my best quick assassin. Absolutely very best quick assassin. Hey, you know what? Screw it. We'll just do it like that. Hello, Star Killer. How's it going? We got 15 minutes left until the live stream chat. Well, again, situations like that, we can look at that and we can say, like, well, man, that's stupid, right? Like, they shouldn't do that. Well, why did they do it? Because they wanted to make money. That's the answer to everything. When you want to know the reason for something, it's usually money. Money is almost always the root of the problem. So it's like, they think they can get away with it. They think they can make money off of it. That's why they do it. Okida Assassin looks kind of old. Yeah. Okida Assassin. You want me to loop with Okida Assassin, chat? I can. She doesn't have the upgrade yet, but we can make it happen. You know, that being said, Berserker on Berserker violence here, not looking too hot. This might be a command seal. I mean, it'll be back for tomorrow at least, but this is the problem with me using double support instead of triple. You need more Summer Ushi in your life? Oh, I have a Summer Ushi. Oh, that's a robust Medusa. Okay. Yeah, screw it. We ball. That is just a complete and total miscalculation on my part. Where they were defrauding their customers, the amount they got in fines was like a rounding error compared to what they made committing the illegal activity, and they were able to keep all the ill-gotten gains. Yeah, I mean, I'm a firm believer that that banks should not be too big to fail, and that if a bank fails, it should just be on the hook for quite literally like everything that they owed everyone. And then if that causes the bank to fail, oh well. As long as, again, like the customer is protected and their money is actually preserved, I have no problem with a bank failing. I feel like it should just, okay, on to the next one of like, 12 million different banks that exist out there. That to me is just one of those issues that like, no, banks should kind of be allowed to fail. The fact that they're not is somewhat of a problem. Surely, chat. Surely. This is going to be a Berserker first and second wave again. I'm just going to end up falling for the same trick. I think crypto deserves to fail. I don't care about crypto. I understand crypto at least on a base level for like why crypto exists. So like to me, I don't really have an issue with crypto. NFTs? Fuck NFTs. NFTs are the stupidest concept I've ever seen. But crypto, I get it. It's like I don't think that like I don't really have any desire to like go into that. But I completely understand at least why it's a thing. What am I doing? Why am I doing? Do I really not have any of them set up? This is probably not a good node to do quick with. Well, you know what? No, that still won't be enough of a triple. Basically, plug suit is the requirement here. Or get off of caster, or get off of quick. So that's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna get off of quick. Oh my god. Yep, that's enough. Because bad meme. It's just a refund issue. Like looping against berserkers is always annoying, even for like arts. So it's one of those deals where like, oh, okay, it was a 1 out of 2 node. I should have paid attention to that. So I would have been fine. But it is what it is. This is technically set up for a 3-turn node. Make sure what you put into it is fine. Did you put like plastic or plastic, styrofoam, aluminum foil, any of those things in? Because that's oh my god, did I actually, how did I do that? Literally, how did I do that? I like sat there and I thought about the comp, and then the first thing I did is I popped Oberon's third skill like a complete and total idiot. Oh, no, that's not the charge skill, it's that. Alright. We're doing this the hard way. Muscle memory from Double Koyan? Yeah. DPS Oberon? Mm-hmm. It'd be what it'd be. I cannot believe I did that. Like, this is what happens to me sometimes. I just literally get distracted. I'm thinking about something else. I'm reading chat, and then I just absolutely, like, pull a facepalm maneuver. Koyan's the closest. She doesn't really have good cards for it. Let's, instead of doing anything... Wow. Cerberus will probably die either way. You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna get less refund if I hit anything else. So let's hit Zenobia here, see what we can get out of it. Okay, 49%. That'll work. I'm waiting on her to pop her guts. Okay, she didn't. There we go. That'll work. It will kill. Seal? No, I didn't need to. I knew I could easily get out of this. See, the problem with the quick comp is I knew all of my buffs were going to fall off if I didn't seal, and then it was going to take this long. Whereas with this one, because I bricked the Lartoria, I already knew it was going to take this long. So it's like, sealing wouldn't have necessarily made me get out of it faster. Tez banner tonight? Yeah, you guys will get, well, tomorrow, basically, but should come out. Do we have maintenance? Yes. At least there should be. I don't know if there was a proper announcement, but I'm going to assume there is because in particular the 7.2 release was a little bit buggy for JP, so I'm going to assume they're going to absolutely do maintenance to make sure that they get it right. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but on JP, they nearly had to delay 7.2 a second time. It literally came down to the final wire before they were like, oh, okay, let's actually not delay it. Let's make sure we get it all in. Five-hour maintenance? There you go. Yeah, but like it was a really like buggy thing. No, I'm gonna do that one on my own time. I'll probably do that one at work. I ain't gonna do that one on stream. That was gonna take too long because not only do I gotta read, but those fights are atrocious. So back to the AP burn. Wait. What was I? Yeah, it was Castoria is what I was using for this. How am I coming on the Mystic Code? Okay, we're already almost to rank 8, so that's going to be... Well, if I can get to use it in 7.2, I'll get some decent progress on it and maybe done by the end of 7.2, but I doubt I can actually use it much in 7.2. I'm going to end up having to use certain things. So that'll just be what that'll be. What happens during maintenance? Well, nothing happens during maintenance, but when maintenance ends, that's when maintenance begins. Log in before reset time? Yes, I highly recommend it. All right, chat, live streams in 2 minutes. Server traffic is likely to be quite high during the period immediately after maintenance. Well, obviously, this is like standard maintenance notice. That's how it always is, right? All right, the faux hat is on. We're wishing for luck here, chat. Hopefully we actually get some, because Lord knows, like, we don't always. Literally there for every maintenance notice, it is. Where's the Vitch hat? Well, okay, I have a spoiler for you guys. I've never been to any of the FGO events. So how do I have this hat? Interesting, huh? I'm just gonna say I have connections. You sent a spy, indeed. A printer and your artist skills. Yes, that's how. It's my latent artistic talent. Ruler Arturia Gyat next to your face. It is nice. Riddle for you? What are you, the Riddler? You're in a race and you pass the person in second place. What place are you in now? This is like a trick question. Like, are you trying to say like, oh, well, like, there's actually like multiple laps or something? Because like, this is easy. God, I don't know why that's so loud every time. It's a riddle, but you're in second place. Why is that difficult? Like, there's nothing difficult about it. No comprende. Like, I'm more stupefied by the simplicity of the question than anything else. Last place had an accident. You're in a dark room with a box of matches. On the table are a candle, an oil lamp, and a log of firewood. What do you light first? Shia LaBeouf. You're in a dark room with a box of matches. On a table are a candle, an oil lamp, and a log of firewood. What do you light first? Well, this depends. What type of oil lamp is it? And does it have oil? Because, like, there are some oil lamps that are literally just, like, turn the knob. Which letter of the alphabet has the most water? Yeah, that's C. You light the match? Yeah, I mean, but the oil lamp could just be an automatic thing that I could turn. Hence the reason that there are some issues with this. You're asking unspecific questions. Okay, I'm killing the music. Now, chat, I hope
Hello, I'm
that
Albert.
this is a good stream.
I'm the localization producer here at AOA.
And I'm Michael. I'm the assistant localization producer here at AOA.
This is the second take we have to do this because someone doesn't like us having fun. But welcome to the Chaldea Broadcasting Station Live Volume 12.
They spoiled.
For the part 2 of Chapter 7.
That's right.
So
You know that's what it was.
Part 1?
I think I got through it. Yeah.
Got through
They
it?
had a
Yeah.
fucky
That's
wucky
fast.
chat.
Part 1, I would say.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's it's and when it starts, it's kind of a lot.
Right.
When dinosaurs.
I'm also going to point out
But,
his mic is
we
way
also,
closer than his.
Just got back from New Year.
Yeah. I hope everybody had a great holiday.
Yep.
Enjoyed the New Year event. Got who you were going for on that guaranteed summon.
And Rasputin.
Rasputin. Yeah. Anybody get Rasputin?
It's actually very cool animation.
I really like his animations. He's got a lot to bring to the table in terms
Right.
of heavy weaponry.
I
Yeah,
hope
the bazooka.
Everybody was very joyful.
Yes.
Yeah, very
yes, very
joyful.
joyful.
Very joyful.
Lots of celebrating.
A lot of people rejoice.
Rejoicing.
Eurokobe.
Much rejoicing for New Year. So I hope everybody had a good holiday. But let's move on to today's topic, the latest game news.
Yes.
Before
What
we
the
go
heck?
into talking about a little bit recap of part 1 and then go into the new information for part 2, let's look at the pre-release campaign for
Okay, I was going to say, are they speed running?
Yeah. There's some good stuff there.
So, first we have consecutive login bonus, and then AP cost will also be half for questing Lost Spell number 7 part 1. You'll get double chance for super and great success when enhancing all servants after you clear Lost Spell number 7 part 1.
Yep.
And then AP cost will be half for all servants rank up quests and interludes. And then AP cost will be half for entering the Treasure Vault quest after you clear Lost Spell number 7 part 1. Also, you'll be able to use Leyline Stone to progress through part 1, but just make sure that you can only use them up until February 28th. So use this opportunity to progress through part 1 and so you can start on part 2. And then Next, actually, we're just going to go straight into the release date.
Oh, or we're gonna front load that this
Yeah,
time.
we're
When does it
gonna
come
go.
out?
We're gonna go.
But
with
we
the
already
release date
know. You
first,
already
and then we're
told
gonna-
us.
Yeah. So I think people already is like, let's just tell us.
We're
already.
talking about it, so they know.
Yeah, let's just tell us already.
Albert,
We
when is
already
the release
know.
date?
Oh my god. The release date will be end of next. I'm kidding. So the release date for Lost Spell Chapter 7 Part 2 will be tomorrow. So January 15th. But
Yep.
again, to play Part 2, you will have to clear Part 1 first, obviously. So use this opportunity that we mentioned earlier in the pre-release campaign to progress to Part 1. Next, for people that have played Part 1 and then went on a holiday, come back, want a little refresher on what Part 1 is about. So we have prepared a couple slides to just kind of recap on the story of Part 1.
Now there are spoilers here, so if you haven't finished part 1, just
Chat,
that's what
beware
we talk.
spoilers
So, I'm going to
for part
let,
1.
Michael take care of
Yeah,
all
of
the
course.
story, all the reading.
Of course you are.
Also, if you think
That's totally
Albert sounds
you.
really low, he is.
So, next, yeah. let's
There's
take
just
a
a
look at
disparity in the
next
mics.
part. So, a lot happened in Part 1.
And you know what? That's our summary. A lot happened in part
A
1.
lot happened in part
And
1.
we're moving now. Okay, so part 1, I mean, the Stormborder reaches the 7th Lost Belt and things go very badly, very quickly. You are attacked by some sort of unknown something, and it causes everyone in Chaldea to get separated. So
Yep.
kind of your goal through part 1 is just to find everybody and reunite and like make sure everybody's okay. And that involves traveling through Mictlan, which is this underworld that is very literally an underworld in that it is a subterranean space cored into the planet that has, as you can see on our wonderful slide of the map of the area, has a
Are we
number of
sure that it's
layers,
in
and
the
each of
planet?
those layers we have different people, different obstacles, different settings that we encounter. And we meet a lot of characters along the way. We have our guardians of the underworld.
I
We
see
can
some familiar faces
some
there.
familiar faces who look a little different than we are used to seeing them. Yes. So we have King Protea and Benienma looking a little different. If you want to know why they look different, play part 1.
And then we have the pre-release campaign.
And
we go through part 1.
exactly. See how we worked that? And then you can learn what's going on with the Guardians of the Underworld.
And then in the first Underworld, we actually come across some new characters as
We
well.
do.
They're like
Let's
the
take a look
Guardians
at
of
some
the
of the
Galaxy.
characters that we meet. And so, one of these things is not like the others, and that may have jumped out at you guys. It jumped out at us too.
Yeah,
So
this
yeah,
thing.
we have a number of characters from Chaldea who are familiar to us. We have Mash, we have Habitrot, we have Nemo Marine. We of course have you, Olga Marie, and Faithful Butler.
Faithful
Seems
Butler.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that seems
Faithful
right.
Butler.
And then we have Tepeu, who is a wise Dinos who just is sort of out living on his own, doing his own thing. He's got some old dino glasses, as you do.
Who is he? Oh my god.
I don't know who this might be a reference to.
Anyway, next slide.
Next slide. So we have the King of the Dinosaurs, the King of the Dinos, and we have Warrior Wakchan, the strongest Dinos in Mictlan.
Yes.
So we see two factions here.
We do.
This
We have
shit's
two
whack.
factions. We have the Dinos, who I think it's fairly. You can see what's going on with the Dinos. You can see what they are. It's in the name. And then over on the other side, we have the Osaloma, who are they look kind of people-y, wearing masks.
I don't
we
know about that.
Entirely know what's going on with them yet, but we know that Tezcatlipoca.
All I know is I
one of
want
the
what they're
ancient
smoking.
Aztec Mayan gods has some position of power with these people, and Izcalli is the leader of the Osaloma, who is very deferential to Tezcatlipoca, and we're still figuring out what's going on there. So if you want to know, follow along in the story and back to that pre-release campaign that's making it even easier.
And then now we have gone through a little bit of part 1 to actually segment pretty nicely into the next part. So, part 2. This is why we're here today,
Yeah.
bringing the information for part 2. And just when you think all that reading, all that explanation is done, it's not done. So, we have a little prologue, as always, for the part 2. So, Michael, just accept your fate and please
Why do you hurt
read
me
them
when I
in
show
the,
you nothing but love?
in the most narrator-like voice possible.
The most narrator-like voice possible.
I mean, I'm glad it's Michael reading it because we can actually hear him.
An unexpected encounter with the foreign god led to an even more unexpected alliance. While the President's motives on the galactic scale remain impossible to determine, their existence alone motivates Chaldea's master to survive the Lost Belt. Despite the obvious differences, occasional flashes of familiarity prompt Master to wonder about what might have been. However, the golden sea of trees mercilessly wrenched Master back to reality. Think of this as your trial run at extinction. It's bound to happen eventually, so you may as well enjoy it early. The future of the Seventh Lost Belt, presented by Cryptor Daebit Sem Void and his servant. In search of a way to avoid absolute destruction, Master delves into a subterranean world divided into 9 layers, toward the land where the buds of emptiness have taken root, and where unprecedented crisis awaits, dormant.
Like he's like, oh, the trial run at extinction. I'm
so
like,
good.
isn't that every Lost Belt?
Just a little extra ham with your
Isn't
narrator
that
today, I
us
guess.
since the prologue?
So, there's a little bit of hints what's going to take place in part 2.
Yeah, I mean, Strange Alliances is I think, a good
Yeah.
phrase to sort of zero in on there. And it does leave us with a lot of questions about, what's going on? What are we going to learn? What is the fate of this, ultimate fate of this Lost Belt?
What is the unprecedented crisis?
I can only tell you that it's a crisis and that it is unprecedented.
And it's a crisis for in a gameplay sense as well. Remember, we always talked about if you have not leveled up your servant by this point, I would.
We have been saying this for years,
We have been saying this for the past year, leading up to.
and now we're looking into the camera.
No.
Level your
Camera.
servants, guys.
level
I
your
have
servant.
been
really
saying this for
important.
years. They have been saying it for
Trust
less
me,
than a
You
year.
want to level up a couple of spoiler alert, but you want to level up a couple, not just your 5-star.
The broadest range possible of servants that you are able to level.
Yes. So that's all we can say, but make sure all your low rarity, level them up as well. Your 4 stars, find some good attackers to level them up.
Yep.
You're gonna need as many of them as possible. But next, we do have some more new information for the newest chapter, since we're talking about leveling servants.
Okay, this might
Of course,
really
for the
be
new chapter,
spoilers.
we have new items. So let's take a look. So we have the
Oh.
Obsidian Blade and the
Okay.
Solar Hide. That will be added in the newest Lost Belt chapter. They will be available in the Exchange
Chat.
Hero Prison shop later from January 28th, 2025. Next, we'll also have new craft essences be added.
They're not
4 new
available right
craft
away.
essences will be added permanently. We have them here on the screen and a couple effects that we shown. So up the critical strength by 20% and MP gain is pretty good. So
Yeah.
Love the art
that's
on
good
this
for a
one.
lot of the crit attackers. You get MP back pretty.
And we have a lot more critical attackers at this stage, I think, well, obviously than we ever have, but it's so much more of a viable option given some of the supports that people
Yeah.
are using now.
And then we have more craft essence that help you with not just the effectiveness of a certain color.
Is the 3-star one good?
We
Not
see
particularly.
More craft essence that help you increase the MP charge by a couple levels. Let's say, for example, now obviously this one's for quick car, so you wouldn't use it for Ultra Caster, but let's say,
Right.
for example, Ultra Caster benefit greatly from overcharging her
She does. very
MP.
much.
To be
There's
fair,
a lot
Raisin, that's
more
Twitch.
servants now that benefit greatly.
Not
depending on
Nightbot.
the situation and how you use them as well.
There are, and I really like the critical resistance.
Yeah.
Just anything to sort of mitigate those huge smashing hits that you're going to take
Yeah,
over the course
especially-
of this last spell.
Especially enemies are getting tougher, they're
They
more
are.
difficult,
They really are.
and not just thinking about offense, you have to think about defense a little bit more
Yeah.
as well. Also, we have 4 new art.
We do. Into Albert's gallery they go.
Into
Yeah,
my
so
gallery
chat,
they go.
now we know why they had to retake it.
They will be
Albert
available
accidentally
in
said
the Hiccup Song
Artoria.
We'll talk about later, but here's the new art.
That's
and
that's
here's
why
the
they had to
effects.
completely refilm
Now,
the stream.
With new permanent craft essence added, we also will be removing a few craft essence in the summoning lineup. So, the 3 craft essence here you see on the screen will be no longer part of the summoning lineup. They will be part of the story.
Iron Willed training is
summon
going.
only until
No.
January 28th, and then after that they will be removed.
Get them all you can.
Yes. Next, we have King Protea's Spirit Chakra.
Oh.
Yes. And we do have a video to show you what it looks like. So for this Spiritron dress, you will get unique voice lines tied to the Spiritron dress as well. So let's take a look at the video first.
逃げ回ればいい
Yep.
そう逃げてしまいそれで
Pretty sure Nasu's into BDSM.
理解できるこれが質量の差です
So as mentioned, as you can hear, now obviously Kim Protea looked a little bit differently.
She sounds a little different too.
She sounds a little bit different too. So there will be exclusive unique voice lines just for the Spiritron dress during battle, and then you will unlock the Spiritron dress by completing
He definitely
all
has
the
a
main
giant
quests in
fetish.
Part 2 of Chapter 7. And then a quest will be available to grant you the wardrobe key for these two Spiritron dress. So I hope everyone will complete the main quest to get the Spiritron dress. And
Yep,
then,
these are both
of
skins.
course, we have new servants.
New servants. All right, let's take a look. Who we got?
So next,
Oh my God, who could it be?
Let's take a look at the video first.
Yeah, you gonna spoil us? Okay, first it's Tlaloc.
心臓都市起動我がアルタール我がカットーラ我が愛しきトラバカスキ
Such a great
今度
NP.
こそ私は失わない
We have new servants.
New servants. Yes. That was quite an NP too.
Yes, and Michael, what can you tell us about this new servant?
I can tell you that Tlaloc is, well, we've seen Tlaloc throughout part 1, and she has not been our friend.
Yeah, she's permanent.
More than that, I think you really will need to play to find out what her deal is. But yeah, she is a pretender, which is another new and rare addition. So it's always nice to have another pretender class.
Pretender?
Oh, yeah. What is she pretending?
Yeah, I wonder.
I think if you want to learn a little bit more about Tlaloc and what's going on with her, then part 1 is going to at least start telling you what questions you should be asking.
Yeah. And then actually to kind of tie in with that, to unlock her stage 3 and higher ascension, you do have to complete certain main quests in Lost Belt chapter 7. Additionally, this servant's noble phantasm name will change depending on how far you have progressed through the main quest.
Yep.
So, that's certainly something to look forward to. If, like what Michael just said, if you want to know more about the servant, play through the story
Something's going on.
and see how all that evolves. So
Exactly. But where there is a 4-star,
there's a 5-star.
there is a 5-star. Who have we got now?
Let's take a look.
Now this, they might actually spoil if they show the NP stuff. But it is what it is.
エーカタルエーカタル弱りエーカタルティトラカワ滅亡の時だ次の世界へ行けとなるテペヨロト
Yes, there's maintenance.
5-star servant.
5-star servant. A very impressive display of power with that noble
Yeah,
phantasm.
Tez is definitely a good
Very
unit.
important
A
character.
very important character who we have met at a number of points so far. Tezcatlipoca.
What can you tell us about?
Oh, very little, I'm afraid.
Oh.
This is, he's got an agenda.
I forgot what
We've seen
Tez's
him a
MP
few
looks like.
times.
There's two different
We know that
animations for his
he's got
MP.
something to do with the Oceloma, but, more than that, I think you're going to have to play to find out.
Oh, you can tell us more?
I mean, I can tell you that, he's an Aztec, sort of Mayan Mesopotamian god associated with death and war and the afterlife. More than that, for his specific role in this story, it's right there. I mean, we've got this pre-release campaign for you to find out more. We're hammering on this, but it's there for you. But since you mentioned that with Tlaloc, you need to advance yourself through the story in order to get past a certain ascension level. We have something similar going on with Tezcatlipoca, so
Yep.
there's some mystery here that hasn't really fully been
That's why
revealed
I'm glad they
as
didn't
yet.
show more.
So I hope that you guys enjoyed part 2 as we sort of delve into what's going on with this character.
Yep. So make sure you progress through the story to unlock higher ascensions. So I hope everybody look forward to that. So, of course, there will be a pickup for these two servants. So, the special pickup summon will feature the two new servants that we just talked about and the 4 craft essence that we just talked about as
Those
well.
craft essences
Next,
are not on
we
Raid Up
actually,
Chat.
of course, we have new trailers.
We do. Let's take a look at those, yeah?
So for
Oh, a new
part
trailer.
2 of the trailer, there will be new narration voices as well as 3 new scenes added.
Let's go,
So
DMCA.
let's take a look.
止めたければ実力で止めろ構えろこれが最後だフェイトグランドオーダーコスモス・イン・ザ・ロスト・ベルト黄金樹海機構ナウイ・ミクトラ物語なき世界神が生まれる
Da, da, da.
And we have another one that's being narrated by a different person.
Oh, who could it be?
Let's take a look.
遥かな昔も遥かな今も生命の機構は黄金に輝いて続くのですフェイトグランドオーダーコスモス・イン・ザ・ロスト・ベルト黄金樹海機構ナウイ・ミクトラ太陽は再び世界を照らす
So, as always, it's a trailer packed with information.
Got to go through it frame by frame.
And then now we have new scenes. So, as you know, we always sometimes talk about previously, once you finish the story, you go back and watch the trailer, you're like,
That's what that was.
yeah. So, the animation is produced by
That's what that
Drive,
was. They literally go
these
and show
trailers
you
will
some
be
of them.
uploaded on the Aniplex of America official YouTube channel. So go and check them out. Check them out now, and then watch it again after you finish the story.
Exactly.
So, let's review the release date and the eligibility requirement to play part 2 of Chapter 7. So the release date will be January 15th, that'll be tomorrow, after maintenance. And then the unlock requirement is you do have to finish part 1 of Lost Bell number 7 in order to start on part 2. And next, we have wallpaper giveaway. So wallpaper smartphone will be available by sharing the wallpaper smartphone. Wallpaper
Erish?
smartphone.
Yeah, no.
There you go. I got it.
Don't
That's
get
why
your
I didn't
hopes
name-
up, Chad.
I can't do the prologue.
It's
can't
not
read
like
that.
there's actually an
I
Erish there.
can't even read one sentence.
I believe you practice.
But you do such a better job.
I think that they all want to hear you do it next time.
Yeah. You have the cool name, the narrator.
But like they've heard me do it, some some variety.
Dude, the volume in this is so
Sometimes
ass.
You just gotta play your best hit.
Fine.
That's what people are looking forward to now.
Like, I
never
know
gonna
this
get out
isn't
of
live
this.
streamed, it's pre-recorded, but they've got to do a better job with that.
Wallpaper for smartphone will be available by sharing the special website on social media. So go check it out.
We held a social media campaign right before this chapter released, and we did reach our social media goal. Thank you to everyone who participated in helping us reach this goal, and as a reward, everyone will receive 6 Saint Quartz in a few days. So check out your present box later on.
That was
That's all
literally
we
a
can say
separately
for now.
recorded
That's all the
segment.
information we have for now. But again, we hope everybody enjoy this new Lost Bell. A lot is happening. A lot will be happening.
Yeah.
And again, this is me using clairvoyance to the best of my ability without Japan yelling at me. That you have a little bit of time, and I'm pretty sure a lot of your friends who might have played the other servers or have already told you that you gotta level your servants. So
I was waiting to see what he said there.
Talk about like FGO is a game that not just focus on the high rarity servants. This is actually a good time to level up your low rarity servants. It'll be very, very useful to help you progress and finish Lost Bell Chapter 7. So use this opportunity, level them up. If you finish part 1, let's say for example, Treasure Vault or AP will be halved.
Yeah.
You'll get a great success rate for enhancing your servants. So use this opportunity, progress through the story, and we can't wait to hear what everybody think as they go through Lost Bell
There's a
Chapter
lot.
7. Next time we see everybody.
There is.
So we hope everybody have fun with this story, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Altogether, a pretty fast stream from them. I expected it was going to take longer, so I'm happy. That is, like, to me, their streams should be like half an hour at most, and it should be like less than that. I get that there can be like exceptions to that, but some of these streams going like longer than that, I'm just like, you're just stalling and there's no reason to stall. The reason JP normally stalls those streams is because, again, like a lot of the time they end up with sort of like going up against the like actual like deadline for the update. So it's like they're literally stalling things out because they know they have a captive audience and they know everyone is waiting for all the stuff, versus the NA streams were like, we're literally just here to see if you say or do anything different from what we already know to be coming. Again, there is definitely some interesting stuff here, but nothing unexpected. We've talked about this for quite a bit. If you guys need a guide for LB7, we do have a video and a actual like Excel spreadsheet that gives you guys a little bit of a relatively like spoiler-free guide to the actual Lost Belt fights. So I do recommend checking that out, especially if you're struggling. I'm going to go ahead and say this again once more for like everybody in the back, but keep in mind, guys, that this is a Lost Belt that has some interesting mechanics, particularly one of the mechanics coming up here in part 2. We've been telling you guys for years, level up your servants. It's not a difficult mechanic, but it is a mechanic. It is something that you guys should try to make sure that you're easily able to overcome. Newer accounts will get stuck at this point, and there will at least be a couple of more difficult fights that even a veteran might get stuck at. So I'm just going to say at the end of the day, 7.2 is a little bit of a cock block. It's, I think, designed that way on purpose. It's mostly done to make sure that people are actually working on their accounts and are actually leveling things up. So again, that's kind of why the developers have done that. However, I have pointed this out before, that this is kind of a hilarious sort of hypocritical thing for them, that they desperately want people to complete the story. They desperately want people to get into Ordeal Call nowadays on JP and get caught up. But they have relatively left 7.2 the way that it is. So there are people that kind of have gotten stuck basically in the Lost Belt portion of the story, either on LB5, LB6, or LB7, and they're trying to get them through, but then they have, again, some of the more difficult fights in the game in this area, and so it's one of those deals where it's really interesting, and I kind of say, like, this is sort of a problem of their own making. I'm not expecting any of you guys to get stuck. If you're a newer account, you might have a little bit of struggle, but I do think you guys are all relatively like savvy. Again, our community's pretty good. Our Discord's absolutely phenomenal. So if you guys ever have questions, especially on fight specific stuff, feel free to go and ask in there. There's always people that can help you out, always people that know what the fights are about and have done it. Highly recommend, if you're struggling in any way, getting some help, and again, the community is one of the best places to do it. But I'm going to say it's not an impossible task. You guys can easily get through it. If you're worried about the mechanics or the way things work, definitely make sure, like I said, you talk. I talked about my video and stuff, so go check that out. But yeah, this is basically all going to be kind of coming to fruition now, and we're actually going to get the completion of sort of the Lost Belt portion of Cosmos and the Lost Belt. We are not done with Cosmos and the Lost Belt because technically Ordeal Call is part of that, but that'll be coming out again throughout this next year here. So a little bit, this is finally the conclusion that we've been waiting on, even though it's not a total conclusion. With regards to where JP is headed, we also know that JP has mentioned that again, Ordeal Call story will be ending this year on their server. So we know that we'll be dealing with Ordeal Call for roughly the next 3 years here. But again, it is the way that it is. And hopefully JP has some part 3 in store for us in the future, which I think there are a lot of signs indicating that there are. But 119 leveled units be enough? It might be. It might depend. Look, chat. The best advice I can give you is make sure you have at least all of the base classes covered, and particularly maybe even some of the extra classes. And if you do something like that, you should be okay. But any last minute thoughts to help me not roll for Tez so I can keep saving for Tiamat? I mean, you don't have to have Tez. I think Tez's biggest capability is his party charge skill. It's quite nice that he has that, but aside from that, there is really nothing that he does that truly can't be done by other units. So I don't think it's like the biggest deal. If you want to go for him, go for him. He is a very useful unit to have. But if you don't think that you want him and you're trying to skip him for someone else, then by all means skip him. So it's up to you. Yeah. Big Tiamat Boobas, yes. But yeah, no, so again, just kind of briefly mentioning this, I saw a lot of questions about like why didn't they announce Kukulkan and stuff. Remember, chat, Kukulkan is the second banner. You're technically not supposed to know about it yet. But it is what it is. Obviously, we have Clairvoyance, but it's not going to be coming out here. First one is Tez and Tlaloc, and the second one is Cuckoo and Tlaloc. So that's pretty much what a lot of us are going to be waiting on. I will say two, again, things like as PSAs here that you guys need to know. One, beware Twitter, beware YouTube, okay? Spoilers are going to be literally everywhere. Beware Reddit, okay? There are going to be motherfuckers, and I put this bluntly, they're going to be motherfuckers that quite literally in the like hour of launching, they're just going to skip all the way through every single spoiler, and they're just going to rush through the story and get to like in fights and post pictures of that stuff. Beware those people, okay? They will be out in full force in the next 24 hours, and it's usually at its worst. I'm going to say in general, stay away from social media, avoid it at all costs if you, at least until you've completed the story yourself. With regards to my streams, obviously, if you come here, I may be on a chapter that's further than you. However, again, I will be kicking off tomorrow by dealing with the JP event and its new units, as well as rolling for Tez. So you guys will probably get at least a one-day head start on me. The other PSA that I need to mention is that when you get this Lost Belt done, you will finally be able to farm the new materials that they mentioned. They will be available in the free quests. So again, that may be some of the desire to actually get it done ahead of time will be to, again, go and be able to farm some of those mats. And some of them are quite hefty in terms of need. So depending on who you're going to roll, you might actually need a ton of them. Again, if you guys want to watch alongside me when I do stream the story, keep in mind, even if I catch up to you guys can always watch and read along with me. I usually like to talk about the story, take my time with it, and enjoy it. It's usually a pretty fun experience. So again, don't worry about like me spoiling you in that regard unless I somehow get like way beyond you. But again, I've always told you guys, yeah, it's like if I pass you, feel free to just keep watching along with me. It allows you to do it faster on your end if you actually then sit down to do it later. Same thing, I will try to be, again, like, obviously I know from JP certain things that happen. I do have, obviously, the foresight of having played through all the fights already. Obviously, I've forgotten most of it, but I still kind of remember some of the bigger and finer points. And again, I'm going to say at that point, be careful if you come into my stream and you're ahead of me and you're trying to spoil or you're trying to be cheeky. You should know, I will catch you, or my mods will catch you. You will be banned. That's your warning right now. I will give another warning when I actually do stream it in a day or two. But keep in mind, we do take the spoilers at least somewhat seriously here. So please try to be nice. Don't spoil other people. Be the good member of the community that you want other people to be for you. So again, it'd be what it be. We're going to catch you and we will shoot. Yes, I do have several mods that have already done the story on JP, so they already are fully aware of everything. And I myself, like I said, I usually know more than I let on. So one of those deals, don't try to be cheeky, don't come in, don't try to spoil, we'll know. I get it if it's like an innocent, harmless thing, or it's like someone just speculating in chat. But please, you guys know, and we know where the line is. We generally side on shoot first, ask questions later. Obviously, you guys can dispute stuff. If you do get into trouble with the mods, please understand it's nothing personal. The mods are just acting on my behalf. I have asked them usually to enforce certain things, and therefore, again, it's a-okay. Just don't bite the mod's head off. I see this happen all the time. We get people that are like, "Oh, why was my comment deleted? Why was I timed out? Yada yada yada." I'm going to say, have respect for the mods. If you do not have respect for the mods, do not expect them to have respect for you. If you immediately bristle, if you immediately start, cursing and throwing names, people are literally going to treat you the way they are getting treated. So it is what it is. I've had this happen numerous times. I did have it happen literally with 7.1. I had to privately talk with somebody. So please don't be one of those people. Again, I kind of have a zero tolerance policy for that sort of stuff. It's not that I can't be forgiving or understanding. I can, but usually we get people all the time to try to throw accusations the mods' way when they know they themselves were acting like an asshat. So don't be one of those asshats. Yeah, again, I hope everybody has fun. Again, this is the big story chapter that a lot of us have been waiting on. We're finally going to get some answers, finally going to get some things revealed. So I'm excited. I can't wait. I low-key, I kind of hate that the JP event is coming out tomorrow, because I would prefer to just immediately do my TES rolls and dive straight into story. But it is the way it is, so we'll cover both for you guys. You guys know the drill. It's just how I've always been. But again, I'm really excited, and I hope you guys are too. 7.2 is going to be an amazing thing, so I hope you guys are excited for it, and as excited as I am. Central Indigenous Agency. Oh shit, CAD can read JP, we're all screwed. Oh, it's not that I can read JP. It's literally three things. One, I've already done the fights. Two, I'm really good at piecing together logical conclusions of where a story goes due to the sheer amount of stories I have read over the years. And again, anybody in VIP can tell you I actually have a very annoying habit of being able to predict what happens next in a story. And again, essentially the third thing is that I talk with people that are pretty much on the forefront of a lot of the JP stuff. So I usually, like I said, I know more than I let on. So a lot of people assume that I don't know, but I do. For instance, that's a interesting comment that just got made. And I'm going to say some things are on the line. Some people will be like, well, it's not really spoilers. We kind of know. And it's like, well, not everybody's necessarily done 7.1 yet. So it just is what it is. Again, I'm going to tell chat, we'll definitely talk about 7.2, especially if I finish it and there's still plenty of time in the stream, we'll sit down, we'll have a talk about everything LB7. And if not, then I'll probably set aside an actual proper discussion day so that we can have some fun with it. But it's definitely a interesting story, to say the least, just from what I understand of it. So, sounding like a sage, it's more sounding like a veteran, right? I've been through this numerous times before, so it's why I end up talking about it. I'm just trying to think, is there any questions anybody had about any of this stuff that was revealed from the live stream? Because I don't, there was nothing. I did see some people being like, oh, I wasn't aware that this was a costume and stuff. There are a couple of costumes that'll be coming out with 7.2. Most of chat already knows one of them. It's, one of the worst kept secrets from LB7. But yeah, this one I think flew a little bit under the radar because King Protea is not like everybody and their brother's favorite servant. So it was one of those deals where I'm not sure everybody was aware that this one was actually a costume, but it is. Are the C's permanent? Yeah, it was really weird because Albert tried to make the claim of oh, these craft essences are also here. You can see it says early release permanent craft essences. It does not say raid up craft essences because they're not on raid up. These C's are just entering the pool alongside this banner. They are not on raid up during this banner. So it is an interesting thing, but it is what it is. They did switch out the King Protea from the New Year's campaign, so we might see a King Protea banner later too. Yeah, that's true. So like we may end up getting a surprise banner basically for NA. And none of that's like, you know, too surprising. It's something that like we can predict because we didn't get it, but it is what it is. Talking excessively about BattleTech instead, that's perfectly fine. I don't know why they bother replacing old Cs. They're replacing them. So it's a couple reasons. One is it's kind of like a FOMO thing. It's like a veterancy thing where they can say like, okay, you're an older player and you have the C. Well, how do I get it? You don't. Two is I think it's also like meant to do sort of an update on some of the CEs where it's like usually most of the CEs that are replacing the older CEs are a better version of the prior existing one. So it's kind of like they're just sort of like renewing the roster of them. But it's also an excuse to say like, hey, look, we totally put like new artwork in the game. Please roll for it. Please collect it. Please get it. So the third reason is basically that it serves the purpose of making the money because people like to collect and people like to get them all. Maybe they want to reduce the pool size? Oh no, that's not it. Because if they wanted to reduce the pool size, they would stop releasing like hundreds of new craft essences every year. Like, Chad, I think we're over 2,000 craft essences in the game. I think last I checked it was like 2,400 or something like that. And we literally get like over, I want to say it's like over 200 a year. Like new craft essences. So there's a lot. There's a lot of craft essences that come into FGO. Chad, where does this game take place in the Metal Gear timeline? It occurs right after the like part where Metal Gear 5 cuts off because Kojima didn't actually finish the game. This is actually like the portion that Kojima didn't finish. He actually like contracted Nasu and asked Nasu would he kindly like as a favor to him finish the story that he failed to complete. Would you like that, chat? For 60 days, geez, that seems long. Seems like it takes place. No. You see, you say get it right, but you're actually not right. I'm giving chat what they want, Ash. You're thinking logically. I'm giving them what they need. They need the conclusion to Metal Gear 5. They need the complete thing. I am right. What do you mean? See, there you go. Yeah. I'm actually surprised they're really like this wasn't that spoilery for 7.1. Like it was mostly just where was it? The slides that they put up here, which like I'm not gonna lie, this first slide's actually like super cool. I really like this. And like quite literally the only actual like spoilery thing is like right here. If they didn't include the Guardians of the Underworld and like show who they were, they could have shown you all of this and it would have just been like a teaser to LB7 and this would have been completely a-okay. It was finished? What do you mean? Listen, any true fan of Metal Gear knows that Metal Gear 5 was not completely finished. I screenshotted that slide. Yeah, it's a really cool one. It's also helpful for like, it's a visual aid, so it's like, this helps people see visually like, oh, okay, this is what they mean when they say these things. Because like sometimes they just throw a line out there and you're like, is Tacky Waddle what's that? What's this tacky waddle? And then you're sitting there and you're just like, I have no idea what this is. And you're like, oh, it's the fourth underworld layer. Okay. Was somehow too long and repetitive. Oh, you don't like playing Kidnapping Simulator? Metal Gear Survive? Sure. Yeah, they actually concluded it with Death Stranding 2. That's a lie. We know there's going to be a Death Stranding 3. Well, Lucario, I hate to disappoint you. Should we be mad that Kojima didn't finish the game and was over budget? Or should we be mad that Konami didn't let him finish? Yes. You should just be mad. Yo, part will be tomorrow? Yes. So again, quite literally, let me see if I can find the slide where they actually gave us the date. Again, like we knew this. they pretty much had stated this in all but like fact. So like I don't know why they played so coy with it. It was just like, what do you mean? We already know it's the 15th. Like you literally like signaled that on Twitter and everything. So like it is what it is. But yeah, again, like we're getting this hella early. Remember, this launched on the 31st on JP, so we quite literally got this 2 weeks early. We were predicting it, I think, like originally around like the 17th, so they even like scooched it up a little bit from there, but there was no real reason that they couldn't. Like everything with Anniversary is kind of like wound, or sorry, not any New Year's is kind of wound down. Everything's already done, so like people are already like a-okay with this, and they're like just looking for something to do. So I think actually like having that's a good thing. Again, we'll see like basically what the devs do from here, but I do think we can expect to stay on this accelerated schedule. Their entire like roadmap seemed to indicate that we're pretty much going to be at some points like a month ahead. I think the bigger concern is going to be like after Anniversary this year, what did they actually do schedule wise? Because there's actually really not that much on the back end. They can spread stuff out, they can pad, but like there probably will just be some actual dead time on NA, which is not a bad thing. I don't like, normally NA does a good job of like spacing stuff out, but again, this just kind of goes back to like this year on JP was a pretty dead year. There was not a whole lot going on, so it is what it is. Time between July and October will be weird. Yeah. I expect that like pretty much like again, like you guys saw as we wrapped up Banner Review the other night, but it's like December literally just has Christmas. That's it. Like there's nothing else, and so it's like beyond that, I don't really know what to tell you. There's not like a whole lot going on this year. Better question is, what are they going to do next year? Isn't it going to be nutty timing wise? I mean, this year's already nutty timing wise. We're having to do an entire month shift, so which is very rare. Normally, we don't have to do that. Summer and Grail Front's the weird time, yeah. Has NA gotten server exclusive reruns in the past? No. Not like server exclusive type deal, right? Like all the reruns we've gotten were things that JP got. This is a really interesting question because people have asked me like, oh, do you think they're gonna let NA vote on like 2 different reruns than JP voted for? And I'm gonna tell you the answer to that is no. I do not believe they will let us vote on a different set. They're just going to give us the exact same ones that JP got, purely for the simplicity's sake. Because I don't think they, like, again, it would require them to work on bringing back some other event, and that would be some actual work. So I doubt they actually give NA the right to vote. They will just say, this is what you're getting and enjoy. they don't care about us, we don't get to vote. I wouldn't say that. It's just a simple like issue of like they don't want to cause. So I've said this before, I'll say it again. For anyone that's unfamiliar with like Lesingle and the way that they work, okay? Now, like, the actual structure of Lesingle is like, God, I feel like someone needs to write a college thesis on that because it's not very clear and we just still don't really know so many things. But with regards to Lesingle's relationship with Aniplex of America, okay, A of A is our localization staff. Lesingle, on the other hand, is all of our devs. So guess where all the like coders and engineers are? They're over here, chat, which means that this is the actual Japanese staff. So everything that you guys get on NA is Japanese coding that then the localization staff turns around and Englishifies for us. So quite literally, like when it comes to, oh, can we vote for a new rerun? That would require the Japanese staff to, instead of just dusting off the code that they already ran, to instead do extra work specifically for NA. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm saying it's unlikely to occur because the Japanese staff is already as overloaded as possible. But yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. Like, Aniplex of America doesn't really seem to have any actual developer like capability. It is very much like after the fact tweaks. Gotcha. JP killed Ivan before we got the chance. Yeah, so like I suspect what probably happens is they have like the packet, right? That they end up handing off to the like NA server. And NA and its localization staff are supposed to check it. And what likely happened is either they didn't check it at all, they checked it and didn't find it because they just were checking it very loosely, or again, they checked it, they found it, they reported it back to Japan, but it didn't happen in time, and it was just like an error that got through. So I'm going to tell you of these, the probability of it being like they checked it and didn't find it, or they didn't check it like at all is the more likely scenario. It's one of those two, rather than, oh, they checked it, they sent it back to JP and nothing happened with it. Because remember, Christmas is not necessarily nearly as big of a time for Japan. It is like somewhat of a holiday, but it's more of a like recreational holiday and not like, so kind of like trying to think of like a good example of this, but it's like, I assume to Japan it's more like Columbus Day or something here in the States, rather than like you know, a full major holiday like the 4th of July, where it's like, oh, everybody has it off. It's like, no, like some people have it off, some people work, it's not like a big deal, like it just is what it is. So at that point, like, yeah, I can assume that like if it was actually caught and reported back to JP would have fixed it, or NA would have somehow been delayed. And so the fact that like none of that actually happened tells me that what likely occurred is it just was never caught. And it's very obvious to tell why it might not have been caught. I'm not sure about the lead time for, again, like essentially like how far in advance they are given the packet and told to check it and told to make changes to it. But I can tell you, at least at minimum, the fact that it made it all the way to live ended up being a like buggy mess due to the negative integer means it was not caught probably, and then everybody was out of the office, so at least on the NA side, so it was difficult for them to even report the issue because, again, everybody on the NA side was quite literally on Christmas break. So I think that's likely what went on with the Ivan issue. But again, it is what it is, and I've said this before, but trying to run things specifically on a major holiday like Christmas is hella stupid for NA. And again, I don't really know what to say other than I pointed out that those raids were going to be a problem due to their timing. I said it was the case on JP. I said it would be the case for NA, and it was the case for NA, and we did have a buggy mess for at least that one. So it is what it is. I just, like, I don't know. Sometimes it feels like me saying these things falls on deaf ears and that there is really nobody listening. And then other times I swear there's like Aniplex of America staff that actually do pay attention to my stream. I'm not sure which it is. I don't really care. I'm just going to say at the end of the day, my hope is that the game always ends up in a better spot for any of my like complaints and awareness on that sort of thing. But if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So, but yeah, that entire like clusterfuck of a situation just was really odd. Had they fixed Cert on time then, there may not have even been an issue with Surtur. It just may have purely been an issue with Ivan for some reason. So it is what it is. Do we expect Neko Arc raid to be broken on NA also? No, I don't think like it was a really weird set of circumstances and we've never had that issue on any of the other raids ever before. And so that chat's aware. As best we can tell, what happened is that like the integer value for time was basically set to like a time period, like the end date was before the actual like start time of the raid. So because of that, like the minute it should have started, it was actually just a null value. It could not do anything. Like I said, it's just a simple like error that I think just got completely missed. I'm not sure if that's due to like somebody like fat fingered it on the NA side as they were moving it over, or if it was the case of like, oh, this was just always the issue because like what got left in was like the actual JP time. I'm not sure which. I don't really care. All I know is that there was a problem. So I don't think you'll see that sort of thing happen. And I'm going to say this, the fact that it did happen means that it's probably now like on a checklist for them to make sure that it never happens again. Like I'm sure with like every raid, they're going to go check the start times on it now because I think they know that pissed people off. Like, again, I've said before, I don't think that like the Ivan raid in and of itself, like there were a lot of people that were deeply upset that they couldn't farm it. And I think those people were making mountains out of molehills because the Ivan raid was only going to be around for a couple of hours at best. Quite literally, I think on JP it stuck around for less than 2 hours. So yeah, you were not going to get very much farming time on it anyways, and we got hella rewards for it. So, you know, I did say like, okay, this is a problem. They should give us some sort of compensation for it. And I was more concerned about it happening to the other raids at the time when I was talking about it. But once they gave us compensation, I no longer had any issue with the, with like the way things went down. So, but that being said, again, there were people that were deeply upset about it. Whether or not that is valid, it doesn't change the fact that it was. So I think like the developers, at least on the Aniplex of America side at this point, are like looking at that and they're probably like, yeah, we need to not do that again. So like I said, I think like from now on, they'll make sure that they check that specific issue, but we'll see. Phantasm Moon event had problems on JP though, and drops December 25th. Lots of potential for things to go wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong. However, I am going to say that part of the issue there was that the JP server was just literally overwhelmed with people. I am going to say like the timing of that raid's probably going to be pretty ass as well. And I'm also going to say they had to extend the number of lives on JP. I have to give them crap for that. And the reason I have to give them crap, the JP devs know better. They absolutely, there's no excuse for like the shit amount of health that they gave that raid in the first place. Because that raid, so to understand, chat, if you weren't familiar with what happened with the JP event, JP launched a 7-day event, literally the shortest possible event in FGO. Okay? The event was not completable on Nat AP. And so in order to complete the event, you had to do the raid. The raid itself, with the rate after it launched that it was getting killed, because they gave it way too few lives, was literally set to die, and I shit you not, chat, within about, I want to say it was like within about 4 hours. So this was an event that everybody required to complete the shop. They had to do the raid, and it was only going to be available for at most 4 hours. That's an insane design. That's so stupid of them. They know better. And what happened was they saw that and they extended the health not once but twice. So again, I don't get it. They literally should have just said, you know what? To hell with actual health. We're just going to make it so that this raid lasts the entire 24-hour period. Is that simple. And had they just done that, it would have been perfectly okay. The other stupid part about this is there was actually a second raid. They didn't tell anybody about that, really. So they kind of hid this fact as a surprise, but there was a second raid that everyone could have relied on to complete the event, but people didn't know due to their lack of communication. So they caused somewhat of a panic and a frenzy over the first raid, and that's, like I said, it's just their problem. They did not design that well. The worst part was Raid 2 was way more lucrative than Raid 1 as well. Yeah, it just like, it is what it is. I can only blame the devs for their short-sightedness on that one. I think they were just incredibly stupid. They absolutely should have communicated better, but like they were trying to play coy and hide things for like surprises, but like again, you caused panic instead because of the way that they managed it. Had this been like a 3-week event, people would have not given a crap. But because it was a 7-day event, people were like, oh crap, I need to get the shop done. And like, I can tell you guys, for instance, I was still up at 4 a.m. when the raid came out. I had not intended to be, but I just happened to be. And that's where, like, again, like I started doing it and I started noticing it is dying so fast that I ended up staying up until 5 a.m. I ended up just farming the ever-loving crap out of it for an hour to make sure that I got the shop done. Because I knew if I didn't, like, I was going to, like, go to sleep and then I would wake up and the raid would just be dead and I would have no opportunity to clear shop. So I think the same thing happened with JP. It happened basically during their normal evening hours, but it's like, it's a huge problem at that point because I think they looked at it and they said like, oh crap, I need to get this done as well. And so they were in a rush to try and do it. And it just, like I said, it caused panic. So they should have just done a better job. They should have just communicated like, hey, here's the schedule. Without spoiling you, there's going to be raid 1 and there's going to be raid 2. And like, that's really all they needed to say. They didn't need to tell you who the raid was. They didn't need to tell you about the story at all. Like again, that's where like they tried to surprise everybody, but it really just was a problem because they tried to do that. Seal's a must roll then? I'm not going to say Seal's a must roll, but damn has Seal been good. Seal has absolutely been a phenomenal unit. I said that Seal was probably too strong when they originally made her, and she is only appreciated in value due to how like many nodes they have made that are put a interesting way, sealable. So quite literally the fact that she has been sort of the Swiss Army knife of many people's accounts over the last like couple months here since her release. Yeah, she's actually just gotten more valuable, not less. Cuckoo's banner is the next week, huh? Yes. So again, banner 1 basically comes out tomorrow, which is Wednesday my time. So you could expect banner 2 to come out Wednesday the next week, same time. Functionality greater than surprises. Well, like I said, I always feel like just informing people of what to expect, because again, it's when you're going to have timed events and certain things are going to happen and you need players to play at that time, it's your duty as a developer to inform them. If you don't inform them, you cannot blame the players for quite literally overreacting and taking everything out of context and like just going like insane on stuff. Then that's essentially what happened. So it just is what it is. Again, I've said it numerous times at this point, but this is one of FGO's major issues and just major issues in general. developers need to actually do a good job communicating to their player base, and I don't feel like FGO does a very good job of it at certain times. Do we expect the Gouda 8 raids to go bad also? The Gouda 8 raids. Gouda 8 raids. The Gouda 8 raids. The Gouda 8 raids. Were there raids with Gouda 8? I don't even remember. There were a few, yes. God, that's news to me, but it'd be what it be. A 3-wave raid? Yeah, no. I mean, I would not expect every raid to go bad. It's just that one was particularly poorly managed, as was the NA one that had a glitch. Like, it happens. Sometimes we get bad ones, but it just be what it be. That's really weird. The Halo account tweeted out some like odd image. I'm not sure if they're like teasing a new game or something. But either way. You can't cancel what wasn't announced? Yeah. Can it be as bad as the Ivan raid? I mean, I hope they never do anything as bad as the Ivan raid again, because the Ivan raid, quite literally, like again, the meme that Bob likes to say, and I love this, is that NA now holds the record over JP for fastest raid clear. We cleared a raid before it ever came out. JP can't say that. But it is what it is. Ivan instant death, yes. Omaiwa Moshinderu. You are already dead. Nani? Master Chief Collection is rumored for PlayStation and I think Switch. Oh, I don't give a shit about that. That's nothing. Like I guess like people on PlayStation are probably going to be hyped because it's like, well, this is coming out of nowhere. But yeah, like that literally means nothing to me. And people say you can't instant death a boss. Yeah, you know. Like, instant death. It is what it is. Asian players all crying over the speed run they'll never get. Like I said, memes aside, I really don't think the Ivan situation was that big. At least as long as they responded adequately to it. And in my eyes, they did. Some people say that they didn't and that they would have like preferred to be able to farm it. I'm again going to tell you that like you were not going to be able to farm the Ivan raid very much. Like, I don't know, you might have gotten like 50 clears or something if you were lucky, but I think like it just was not going to be the easiest thing in the world to do. Why did I pop that? Gramps was working behind it. He remembered LB1. Wasn't the answer for the raid to use Shiki and kill, so we basically used our own Mystic Eyes? For which? Which raid? Ivan? Oh god, I think it was like Assassin Shiki was one of the better solutions for it. I don't honest to god remember in that regard. God grailed on an A. That way I don't have to use things like the Mystic Code for her to clear. Clinically deceased on arrival, disturbing is what it was. Yeah, well, like again, I understand people were excited to farm it, but I hate to say it, it's not like I even actually had like all that rare of materials. There are plenty of other good opportunities to get most materials. We do occasionally end up with like some harder to get materials and stuff, but I don't know. Like FGO, at least to me, does a really good job of always giving you multiple opportunities to farm stuff throughout a year. And it does mean that like certain materials may be a little bit rare, but the way to think about this as well, chat, is that all you really need usually is one iteration. That is to say, one really beneficial time for you to be able to farm something, and then you can like kill it dead. Like you can just go like, oh well, I've done this so well that I no longer need to like farm literally anything. So it ends up just not being a big deal, because I think like once you've kind of like future proofed yourself on a material, you don't care. Like you don't ever have to really dabble in it. You know you're good. The only things that can mess that up are like your need expanding for some reason, and that's usually going to be like you rolled a character you didn't anticipate rolling, or again like a new system came into the game that requires it. But those sorts of things, particularly the latter, the new system, it's a very rare occurrence. I'm not going to say it doesn't ever happen, because again, like class score is a thing and stuff like that. But you know, how often do we get something like class score? Like quite literally, did JP get a new system since class score? Nope. Like, and again, they have been on Ordeal Called now for 2 years. So NA is about to get class score this year. So we'll see. Like maybe JP will get another new system this year finally. But it's like, yeah, you literally went 2 years between systems at that point, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 3, right? Like oh man, we don't even get a new system until like the entire Ordeal Call arc concludes and we move into part 3. That might be a thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's really all it is. Yeah, I think like in general, a lot of people like complain about the farming in FGO, and I don't think the farming's bad. I think like the farming just is the game, and a lot of people. I'm going to say this. I think there's a group of people, a subset of people out there within the FGO fandom that don't want farming to be the major gameplay loop of FGO. That is understandable. I get that. I completely can at least understand why they are like having such a mentality, but I do not agree with it, because the game is designed for farming, and farming is truly the only infinite thing in the game that can actually sustain it and keep, like, you know, again, millions of players playing it. So to me, if you get away from farming, it will kill the game. And trying to change FGO 9 to 10 years into its development cycle wholesale like that will just kill the game. Like I don't really understand why people have that stance at this point. So it's like, and I want to be clear here, wanting like more challenge content in the game is not the same thing as what I'm saying. I'm saying like if you don't want there to be any farming in FGO, if you think like the farming's really bad and you just want like, I don't know, like auto or something like that in the game, it will kill FGO. Like it will not allow the game to thrive and prosper as it has, and it will just literally be the end of it instead. So it's like, I can't imagine like the sheer amount of like no fucks given if FGO just had auto. JP only getting 1 lotto last year hurt it bad. No, that's not what I said. I'm saying if there's no farming at all in FGO, it would be bad. Farming is not necessarily just a lotto. Farming is everything. What am I doing right now, chat? I'm farming. I am literally running the QP node to spend down my AP. Why? Because it's half cost. Why? Because I also potentially need QP. That's farming. Okay? So when I say, again, there are people out there that just want like the game to be like full auto and there to be no actual farming in the game, that's what people want, and I'm just like, there would be nothing to do. FG would literally be a like, oh man, log in, read the story, set that shit on auto, and you know, like ignore it, you know, for 3 weeks. 3 weeks plus. And so like, yeah, it would not be a good gameplay loop for the game. At least like with the way things are right now, people do kind of like go out of their way and get stuff done. They want FGO to be something and something it's not, and thus killing it. Yeah, like again, and that's what I'm gonna say. At this point, you're in year 9, going on year 10 of the game. If you want FGO to be something completely different, you're in the wrong, because this is just the way that the game is. I'm not saying you can't ask for, like, you know, again, changes to the game. I think that's perfectly valid. I think this is a flawed product. It's not perfect in any way, shape, or form. So asking for things to change, asking for things to get better, that's fine. But asking to entirely change the gameplay loop of FGO is just inherently incorrect. Like, there's nothing else I can say about that. At that point, you need to pin all of your hopes on an FGO 2. And that maybe that would be different. But like I said, expecting the like baseline of the game to wholesale change, I don't think that'll be the case. Is there a website or something to plan your farming and mat requirements? Yeah, I like to use Chaldea app, which I still need to get updated on this computer and haven't done. Any chance for a reduced pity cost? Unlikely. I'm not going to say they couldn't reduce it, but I've talked about that many times as to why I don't think that'll be the case. Yeah, there's an app version and a web version. It's up to you as to which one you want to use. I have returned. Perfect. Then Bob has the Eye of Agamotto. Okay, chat. I've done everything I can in FGO. Like I said, I could record and stuff like that, but I would like to put a pause on that, at least for right now. Again, the banner review video is actually being worked on. So I don't have a like definite date for you guys on that, but it is currently in the process of getting edited. Classical Gas playing? Yeah. Actually, I have it as part of my playlist. I love Classical Gas. Just, I don't know why. Something about the song has always like... It's real gas. I required 10 million Kreplaks to give him back. Well, if you're gonna hold returned hostage like that, I don't know what you want, right? Like, because I don't actually value returned that much. FYI, maintenance is an hour. And make sure you guys get all of your AP done. Make sure you log in, because like I said, there is no guarantee that like NA doesn't have like long maintenance. Okay, and the reason why, again, is going to be that like quite literally this was a pretty spicy update when JP had it. So just be careful, chat. I'll switch screens here, chat. Also, let me adjust where I am. But yeah, this is the new season. If any of you guys haven't seen it, there's Invisible Woman, Mr. Fantastic. They're going to be coming out with the Thing and the Human Torch later in the season. Gotta leave her down there. I don't know if she'll be covering like the ammo and stuff, but should be fine. Yeah, here is the battle pass. I've already purchased at least the unlock for it. Battle passes in this game are actually pretty interesting because they basically end up what the fuck? Huh? Wait, how did that happen that fast?
Pick your hero or villain. I'm not judging. I'm not the type who fades quietly.
I really hate how this game works, and I'm sorry for everybody that I was trying to group up with right there. I literally went to invite Bob, and instead it threw me into the party screen, and like, I don't know, like monkey brain just goes like, ooh, big yellow button, let me press that. And it just keeps doing that to me. We didn't even get in. I know, like, I don't know why that does that, but it is what it is. I guess I have to play one, because like, the problem is I don't, oh my god, it's a 2 out of 3 match. Did I throw Chen?
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
But yeah, this is Invisible Woman. If you guys haven't seen her, she is quite hot.
Timelines feels just like those stints in cryostasis.
Definitely caked up.
Always, Natalia. Always.
Time to get a quick W. Yep. But yeah, the way the battle passes work is once you unlock them, they don't expire, but you have to like unlock them. If you don't, otherwise you end up what am I dealing with? Okay, there's at least a tank. If you don't, you can miss them. So it's like, that is one of the problems that you can have. But otherwise, again, like, they don't ever expire.
What am I? Invisible?
You gonna chase me? He's not chasing.
Feeling fantastic. Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now. Psionic burst.
Hey, the human host is down.
Capture the mission area.
Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here.
Psionic surge.
But like, no one on our team seems to want to go in. And that's fine, because like, I don't know what happened to the Venom. I assume the Venom got melted.
That's much better. Psionic surge.
Oh my god, I can't believe that didn't reach her.
Invisible?
Dude, what is going on? We're like treating this like it's a freaking bounce house. Oh my god, dude. My jump is not long enough.
You needed a time.
Okay, there we go. We got him.
Feeling fantastic. Psionic surge.
Oh, I tried. Wow. Okay, he died too at least. I was gonna say their Jeff is their ace. I'm pretty sure he's just standing in the back, trying to stay alive. Wait till chat sees the Sue skin. Oh yeah, this is one of her skins. This is the alternate color scheme where it's blue and black instead of white and black, or white and blue. But I have the Malice skin, so I'll show it to you guys after this. I ain't going down there. Fuck those squirrels.
Psionic burst. Force burst. Control lost. What am I? Invisible?
Oh my god. Yeah, come on over here. I will literally yoink you.
Psionic surge.
Yeah. Okay, he is fast and damn, I'm at 99%. I should have double jumped. I should have just done it, but I thought I could get away with it and just time him out and go back to invisibility that way. But he was at least good enough to get me. Bro literally ulted just to end on me.
I suck. Healing. Why would I need healing? Now I see them. Psionic surge. Feel the pull. I'll put this to good use. That's much better.
Yeah, again, like I literally saw her tank one time. Like one time the entire match. Oh, yeah, okay, that's why. Bro literally switched off of tank. Like,
Even when you
I
can't
don't know
see
what that was.
I'll still make you believe.
We are quad DPS and again, like 2 healers. So this is just a hot mess of a comp right now. Apparently triple DPS and triple healer comps are a thing in high level gameplay, which is really interesting because there are reasons to do both of them. I'm not really sure on the triple support other than it's just very difficult to kill. So I guess like on defense it can be nice, or at least like winning a team fight, you can kind of hope to outlast the enemy. But I think that still kind of requires your singular DPS to actually be really good at burst. And so that way you can still get like picks. Oh my god, we're like making art. But the triple DPS is apparently what you run when the enemy is running a tank buster like Wolverine, which is actually a really interesting thing if you ask me. Oh my god, dude, I freaking hate Cap.
Anyone willing to help?
Dude, how are 2 of them already just dead?
Clear the way. Feeling fantastic. Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now. Perhaps I should.
I'm gonna get flanked. I knew it. I fucking knew I would get flanked. Dude, and how? How, Squirrel Girl? Oh my god! I literally appeared behind him! I mean, like, I get Black Panther seeing me. I have no idea how the Squirrel Girl immediately spotted me that fast. That was, pun intended, nuts. Oh, that's not good.
I bring hell down on a little help, please.
Dude, what?
Again!
Dude, I can't even tell at this point, like, where the damage is coming from
I got you covered.
and why.
That's much better.
That's what I need.
That's not ours. Oh my god. Dude, what the fuck? I don't even see her. She's there hitting me and I literally don't see her sword going across my screen.
Thought you wouldn't see me again?
That's the level of crap that I've been dealing with lately, and I'm not sure like why that's happening, if it's just purely a latency thing.
Field. Glory is almost yours.
Assemble!
Hey, bro, where the fuck are these people?
Clearly you needed some help. Psionic burst.
Oh my god, leave me the Really? I don't understand. I literally don't understand why they are ignoring the shit out of my Jeff and like hyper fixating me. It's wild.
It feels good to step outside my bubble every now and then.
Like I guess him targeting me there off the rip, but like the sheer devotion for, I know I've lost, I'm going to make sure that I suicide to kill one person and it's going to be that invisible woman over and over and over again is wild. Stream sniping? No, I doubt it's anything like that. I'm not a big enough person to stream snipe, nor could anybody as quickly have gotten into my game, right? Gotta tap that ass? I guess. Yeah, it looks like we turned this one around.
The battle starts in 5.
At least for now. I've been sitting on this ult, like, literally all round. I need to just freaking use it. But half the issue is, like, my ult is super powerful. I need to use it at the right time. And there hasn't been a good time to use it. So I think I'm just gonna like ult here in the first team fight just to say like fuck them.
A little help, please. I'm barely harmed. Feeling fantastic.
Oh my god, literally! Black Panther, just fuck off! Okay, fuck this. You're not getting me.
Us against the world.
No worries. I've got to clear the way.
I see him. I literally see the Black Panther. And now there's someone else behind me. Oh my god, dude. I don't understand this team. I don't understand the hyperfixation on me. I'm not our team's best healer right now, nor even its best player. They just really have a hard-on for me, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, I get it if I'm doing a whole lot to, like, interrupt them and interfere with them, but I'm not. I understand kill healer. I don't understand, like, yo, the other team's healer is hunting me.
Anyone willing to help?
Okay, at least that time he went for the shark first, but then saw me and then came back for me. It's a very good Black Panther. Yeah, he is their team's ace right now.
Control lost.
I'm sorry, what? What killed him? Like, holy shit, dude. I have no idea. Bro just got frickin' bodied.
Need to recharge.
Another fearsome foe. Feel the pull.
Iron Mans are so easy to dodge if you're able to fixate on them. Bro, what is that ult? What a stupid shit tier ult.
Vortex field. No worries. I've got your back. Anyone willing to help?
I can't heal the Venom. He's literally just running from me.
Feel the pull. Psionic surge. Control seize. Even small.
Okay, so that was easy. We actually got the point back, I think, without any ults.
Keep going.
There's Black Panther.
Us against the world. Feeling fantastic.
Dude, bro just kept backing up when I expected him to come out.
Down on their heads. Disappear. And I'll feel the pull. Clear the way.
Where the fuck is that Black Panther?
The area's almost yours. Wait, what am I? Invisible? Force burst. I need to heal. Another fearsome foe.
I'm surprised nobody else returned. Like, it's like they all got occupied. That made no sense to me. Like, the Squirrel Girl came out and tried to tap point, but we really, like, it was just two of us. And I'm pretty sure Squirrel Girl's ult killed two people coming back to the point. This is such a stupid MVP. I don't understand it. It's literally just him looking at the screen. But yeah, like, yeah, there you go. I literally got out healed by the Jeff / Mantis. So like, they had a hard on for me the whole game and it made zero sense. Like, yeah, they sure shut me down. Ah, yes, I'm not captain. I don't have to do this. Somebody else can. Ah, so Bob gets... Oh, damn it, you made me captain.
Got him.
You asshole.
Out of your stream.
Who is Mordred? Does anyone know?
Mordred, I think, is in Twitch chat.
I just like. Oh, it's you.
That's
Okay,
what I
yeah,
know.
sure. Got you. Okay.
But did you notice the difference in my profile banner, Cap?
No. What's your profile banner?
He's burning up.
My
Pick
hands
your
are burning
hero.
red.
Or villain. I'm not judging.
Because you're hot.
I'm not the type who fades quietly into the
Damn it,
background.
burn. I
Hey,
wanted to
chat.
show
Here's
off-
the Malice skin.
You see, Ash, when I'm playing, I'm tank.
It's very nice.
Or at
Yeah, her
least the
thighs
next
are
round,
insane.
Okay, I'll be Darty.
We'll be Dottie.
We'll be Darty.
Ash. We are winning.
We are Darty. Leave
After
them
all
to
these
come
years,
shoot.
saving the world still hasn't gotten
30
away.
seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Venom?
How dare you whack me with your tiny manhole?
And the chaos you
I'm biting your head off, Ash. What do you mean?
You don't have that capability.
Hold up. You know.
Listen, do you know how many tanks I've beaten to death with these fists, Ash?
Not
One.
No, bro, it happens all the time now at this point. Tanks be thinking they're safe behind their shield, and then you just be like, bet, you won't catch these hands.
Got it?
Oh, it's less skimpy than the actual, like, comic version.
I'm disconnected.
No.
Pop doesn't want to play with me.
I can't help it.
What am I? Invisible?
Where are they?
Magic close range.
Up top.
Oh, up top. Okay.
Root locked off the upper level. We're trying to come around through it.
Hold up. Nope.
Much better.
Oh my god, someone got melted back there.
I'm on my way back.
Capture the mission area.
Leave them to Khonshu!
Oh my god, that stupid freaking...
We are undefeatable.
he's...
Got fucked by the cruise accident.
Dude, so many of these people don't know these maps, and I've noticed this.
That's much better.
I feel better already.
So he threw us off, but he didn't actually do anything. Oh, that's bad.
Oh, I missed my ult.
Put this to good use. Psionic surge! I got you covered.
There you go. She died.
Come Jack, come Jack, come Jack.
Hard to kill the Jeff when I'm being killed.
I'll put this to good use.
Systems restored. Feel the pulse.
Pure cosmic energy.
Psionic burst!
I shoved the Groot back down.
Bounce that, bounce that.
Psylocke behind you guys on top.
Oh god.
Oh, that's BS, dude. So many of these units are like...
That's much better. No worries. I've got your back.
Oh, that magic.
Disappear.
Anyone willing
We
to help?
are undefeatable.
Oh my god, that's bad. That's very bad. Yep. Oh, that was perfectly timed by the Groot.
Oh. I get the jump?
Excellent, excellent Warlock ult.
I apparently glitched through the wall.
Psylocke is still upstairs. Just FYI.
She went down.
Keep going.
What's wrong, Venom? You want to come over here?
Gonna go to the left window. Yep.
Psylocke is above us still, trying to get a flank.
Oh, okay.
Psylocke in the back line.
Invisible?
Oh god.
Got your back. Disappear!
There we go. Yeet, bitch.
Behind us, behind us.
Feeling fantastic. Keep fighting until we have a winner.
Yep. I got 2 onks up right now.
Yes, coming in.
Well, it doesn't matter. Did you
Yep.
suck it?
Shoved him. This is like Nikke level ass? Yeah. I mean, it's NetEase, right? They know what they're doing.
Net easy, more like nut ease.
Even when you can't see me, I'll
Wait, what?
still make you believe.
Oh, Jesus, dude. Oh, nice job, Mordred.
Seconds before you attack. Get ready.
That's what I use when I invis woman. Wait, what? Oh, the Malice skin? Yeah.
Crunchy shell. Try to take a bite out of spider and you'll chip a bang.
Okay.
Yeah, well, let me know if there's a change to the menu, okay? The battle starts in 5.
Yeah, do you guys want song request on or off?
3, 2, 1.
I'll leave that up to
All you
you.
need to do is capture the mission area.
So that's a
Got it?
raffle.
I like you, for now. But trust me, that can change in a
I
heartbeat.
can almost leave them to Khonshu.
We've got
Oh, I'm almost at my ult.
I have Khonshu.
Psionic burst.
Shoved magic.
Up top.
Shoot top side.
Fire mode. Clear the way. Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now. We are undefeatable. Clearly, you needed some help.
I'm so alive. No, get the gem, please. No, Jeff is out. Fuck.
Oh, I'm reviving. Let's go.
Alex backing up. Yep.
Well done.
I almost had a successful
chance is
Khonshu.
over.
Rush the top, just in case.
They're coming left.
Not enough force yet.
Behind you, Ken.
Clear the way.
I'm forcing them to engage on multiple fronts.
Magic's dead. Incoming from right here.
Better stuff.
Systems restored.
Alright, we're set. Let's go.
I got you covered. Clear the way.
Kat, are you good over there? Or you need help?
Someone's retreating.
No, we're good.
I have one onk over here.
Oh, missed.
You captured more than
Magic's still on the left side.
Keep going.
Psylocke on me. Psylocke on point. Oh, that's Mantis.
Mantis back capping.
Oh, I got Psylocke and Mantis.
Mantis and Psylocke back capping.
Oh, I'm dying. Oh, shit.
Fire mode.
Dumb bitch. Yeah, you can keep doing that all you want. You will not kill me with that. That will, though. That I can't do anything about, so we got Grooted on point.
Venom's half dead.
I'm at...
Oh, fuck.
I don't give up so easily.
Nope, I
Oh,
died.
man, yeah.
I got Conch.
Yeah, we overextended.
Coming in with the Conch.
Wait, Ash.
I have balls, by the way.
We need at least a tank with.
Yep, I'm on my way. Just hold up. Dalek up top. Yep.
Behold, Darkchild!
Okay, push.
Okay, coming in.
We are undefeatable!
Second chance is over.
Psionic surge!
Why did he kill himself? Like,
They technically suicide all the time.
you don't
Bro,
need to-
what is that?
Depends on how many who he grabs.
I'm ever so slightly poked, dead.
Oh, fuck.
And then on my screen, it's like, no, I was already at half health. Like, that's something I think this game has to do a better job of.
Systems restoring. Vortex field!
Oh my god.
They've almost got it!
Oh my god, guys.
Feeling fantastic.
There you go.
Oh my lord, I
You
got
needed some help. Clear the way. Double kill!
I got Psylocke. Magic's a problem.
Stay alive, I'm coming.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
Oh my god,
We
dude!
are undefeatable!
This is a problem. What the fuck? Bro, I have like no indicator that I'm actually taking damage.
Double kill!
The moon!
I'm dying so early in these fights that I'm used to just
You have the Oregon
living.
server as well turned on. I don't know if that's affecting.
I have what?
You have 3 servers turned on for.
After all these years, saving the world still hasn't gotten old.
Yeah, I don't think the servers are the issue. I mean, like, maybe my latency to the server, but...
Right. I think none of us are close to Oregon. And it
30
does have
seconds
high
before you
latency.
attack.
I don't know
Get
if we're
ready.
getting that as well.
I don't think it's really any of that. It's just like I'm not able to hear as well with Song Quest on, so I turned that off because like some of the hits were sounding like it's like, oh yeah, that kind of nicked you. Like I thought I literally got hit twice by Venom, and I'm like, okay, well that's not enough to really put me in death range.
The battle starts
And then I
in
immediately got one shot, and I was like, what the
3,
fuck?
2, 1.
It's like it's equal parts latency, equal parts just not like
Got it?
getting the audio cues.
Across all space and time.
They'll do it.
Force burst!
I have found more lost. I require some aid.
Fire mode!